Welcome back, Nuggets. This mother clucker's got some thoughts. Let's ruffle some feathers and get into this live stream. Nuggets, did I just do it? Did I just do a seamless transition from Clucker's only stream tech into public stream tech? I think I did it. This is like somebody needs to go buy a lotto ticket because this is not going to happen again. Hello, everybody. Man, that was a frantic flap for me trying to get here on time. Do you ever have inconveniences with your body? It's like in the morning, I like to have porridge before my live stream because that keeps me going until I can have lunch after my live stream. But then some mornings my stomach's like, no, not having food. No, we don't want that. So I don't, and then I have to snack during the live stream. But then, like, right before the live stream, 10 minutes before, my stomach's like, okay, I'm hungry now. Let's eat. Let's eat. So I'm, like, frantically eating and getting the stream ready. And, yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, hello, everybody. I've got 2 polls running. One on Twitch, one on YouTube, asking what video you want to cover because, I tried to cover this live stream of We Have a Lot to Discuss on my last stream, was unfortunately taken out by migraine. You were all very courteous. Thank you so much. I'm feeling a lot better now. But there's also been a release of a bonus Texas vlog, which is basically staring at Remley's nether regions for 45 minutes while he cooks. But apparently she goes off at him for, like, choices. I don't know. Anyway, those are your choices. Hello, Wide Rider Neo over on Twitch. Who have we got on YouTube? Hey, Annie, no, you're catching the replay. Absolutely perfect. Hello, Veronica. Wow, Veronica was here 7 hours early and 55 minutes early. I'm impressed. Hello, King. Hey, Gwen, hello. Woke up and apparently the documentary dropped. Boy, did it ever. Hello, Quirky. Hey, Furball. Hey, Mal. Hey, Benita. Hello, Emily. Hello, Andrea. Hi. Hello, Cybelucia? I probably butchered that. Can I call you Cy? Hello, you caught alive. Welcome in. Cramblings and Darkwick, thank you so much for being in here modding today. Hello. Hello, Joke. Hey, Zalfruit. Hey, Caden. My goodness, so many. Hey, Isabel. I was thinking about you the other day. You and your rooster designs. Hello, Barry. Hey, Shannon. Hello, I think I got everybody. I think I did. Feather fam. Oh, Amanda, hello. I got you all. Hey, Kex. Okay, my goodness. Can you watch the replay of the doc on Patreon? Only if you support on Patreon. Otherwise, there's a download link. By the way, if anyone's any members, if you go to my post tab, what I've been doing after everything, I put the post to Patreon and then I put the post to the Google Drive as well. These are members only, so if you support on YouTube, this is how you get to the replay. If you want to support on Patreon, this is how you get to the Patreon. Also, I will just say, because this has brought such an influx of new cluckers, I'm so grateful that you're wanting to hear my take on this and that you're also willing to I understand money is hard to come by in this climate. And yeah, I'm grateful that so many people actually want to hear my take, enough that they're happy to pay money. It has to be behind a paywall, unfortunately. But what I've done, if anyone's not sure, I literally have all of my membership costs at the base level that I can possibly put it at Patreon, which is $3 USD. And then I match it on YouTube and on Twitch, I think. So look, what $3 USD is going to get you at the moment, if you just subscribe for a month, you can cancel at any time. It's going to get you all 3 reactions to the 3 episodes of this Big Girl Wanted doc. Bear in mind, trigger warnings are abundant. It's crazy. but it will also get you all of my Clucker's only live streams that are stored there, where we're going through hoarders at the moment, and it looks like we're about to go to my strange addiction. That's where it's looking like it's going at the moment. We trauma bond over there. It's fun. But yeah, I stream live on Discord and on Patreon at the same time now. So yeah, that's how that works. So yeah, always keep an eye on my post tab, because that's where I'm delivering all of the links that you need, especially if you support. Okay, all right, so let's check out these polls. On Twitch, they want 100% for a lot to discuss live, and 87% on YouTube for a lot to discuss. Okay, so I guess we're gonna do that. Nobody wants to stare at Remilly's nether regions? I'm shocked. Hello, girl, please. Hey, Bella. Hello. Yeah, Kremlings. I mean, it's a good point. The money also goes to Chookins and future Chookin Rescue. Yeah, literally everything that I earn on YouTube or Patreon as a platform or Twitch, any of it, all of this channel stuff, it's all either going towards getting the tiny home sorted so that we can go look after the grandparents, which is a stepping stone to getting a rooster rescue, but not just a rooster rescue, but an animal rescue farm. So yeah, it's not going to anything frivolous. It's all that. The poll is a landslide. Yes, it is. Hello, KY Dad. Okay, so let's get started then. That makes it a lot easier. We'll get rid of this one. Now, this live, this is the one that I tried to do last stream. I haven't edited it down because all of the action kind of happens at the beginning, and I think it will be fine to do that. Let me see, because I do have a lot to say, but last stream, I absolutely could not focus on what Madam was saying. It's funny, I've actually done a lot of live streams with migraines. You probably haven't noticed. It's like it depends on the symptom that I'm getting, and if it's just pain, I can work through pain, you know, it's not a big deal. But when the cognitive, you know, functioning is hit, does anybody else experience that? It's like all of a sudden your brain is slow, you can't focus, and that was happening, and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't react in that state. It's not going to be good. Not at all. You just found out that there's an overlap in the paranormal community and the Girlwell people. There is. I'm aware of it. Thank you so much for linking Girl Please, Darkwick. Go check out Girl Please if you haven't yet. She's hysterical. I adore her. She's one of my favorite people on YouTube. Hey, Mels. All right, let's get into this. Let's watch Roz be completely inappropriate, especially now having seen this documentary. My goodness, Madam, what were you doing talking to Stefan on his platform? So the issue that I'm going to have here is, in my last proper live with Roz, we covered that TikTok live where she went onto Stefan's platform, and one kind of was like, notice me, senpai, you know, that kind of thing, like to get affirmation from him, but also she gave him the platform to be able to explain himself and what he's doing better, which is so inappropriate after what we've found out about the Discord, which is why I labeled this aged like milk. Giving that man any sort of platform at all is appalling. He is a predator of the highest degree, and I haven't even seen all of the documentaries yet. I know it gets so much worse. The fact that she went on there to platform him, because although it was on his live, she still has a very big platform that she gave him attention for. And sorry, technical things. And she's actively taking the attention away from the victims of this man, the women who were brave enough to step forward and say their story, which would have been terrifying and intimidating. She is diverting the spotlight from those women who deserve it, who need to communicate their story and get it out there. But Roz is sitting here like the selfish cloaca that she is, saying, look at me, it's all about me. And she had like less than a minute worth of footage. She is a very, very tiny role in this documentary, which I'm very glad for, because I feel like if Girl World's watching, we obviously know who she is and we're going to pay attention to that. But I really feel like watching it through the lens of someone who has no idea about Girl World and is just watching a documentary, they're not going to see her as a big player in this. So I don't think from the general public she's going to get a lot of attention out of it, which I'm so glad for, because this should not be about her. In my opinion, she is effectively co-opting the stories of these women. And if you think about it, if you think about it, the We're All Insane podcast that we watched, where she was talking about being groomed into polyamory and S work. I mean, we know it wasn't polyamory, right? We figured out it was just like adult parties, essentially. But where she's saying that she's been groomed into this lifestyle, well, that's what the victims of Stefan had happened to them. It's evident that there was a lot of coercive control going on, and it's evident that there was so much like emotional blackmail and it almost cult-like activity. She's taking their stories. She's taking their stories for herself to get the spotlight for herself. And all of this, sorry, this was a very big rant. All of this is appalling. Now, this live, she's kind of going to blame it all on the reaction channels. Of course she is, because that's what she does. Yes, Furball, this is what I think too. Because it's not uncommon for documentaries to pull in experts, right? And they'll do full interviews, and then they'll take what they need, sound bites and things like that, out of that interview if they're not the main person. And Furball said, I bet she babbled for hours for the doc and it all ended up on the cutting room floor. She must be salty. I bet there's a big pout. I do. Do I think that these people would be exposing themselves if they weren't attention seekers? They're not attention seekers. They're victims saying their piece. So I think it's very appropriate for them to be doing so. Stefan needs to be exposed and called out. Yes, thank you, Cramlings. This won't be so much for today's content, but yeah, the documentaries, if you're going to go watch them, I kind of expected the regular trigger warnings of like conditioned content, feederism, that kind of thing, but it actually goes so much deeper than that, and it is worth looking after your mental health before you go into these documentaries. Make sure you're in a good place, because the warning list is massive. One of my cluckers in the Discord, actually, thank you so much, compiled a list of all of the warnings, so I'll be reading those out for the next one. Say We're All Insane podcast again and I'll shut this whole internet down. Is that a threat? Apparently her interview was hours long. I would believe it. Yeah. Oh, you didn't mean the victims. Right, got you. Sorry, I misread that. Thank you for clarifying. All of the other people? I have to conclude, surely Stefan didn't know the angle they were going to take for this documentary. Surely. Because why would you participate in that? It makes no sense. I don't know. Unless he's just, like you say, an attention seeker or an idiot, or I don't know. Yeah. Weird little man is a very nice way to put it. Thank you, Ploppy Plops. I like your name. It's fun to say. Yeah, it seems so much worse than just the conditions. This is a bad man. It really is. And I streamed it on my Discord while I was recording it. And I was just in and out of the conversation because I prefer to react to things like without having seen them, it feels more authentic to me. So I was in and out, but I kept coming back to make sure it was recording okay. And the conversations that were going on there, and at one point I saw child involvement. I'm just like, what is this man? How dare he sit on his live and say that it's just haters coming from him? How dare he? Anyway, he's going to be a focus from now on. I find him very interesting. Absolutely a danger to women and children. And I hope Girl World continues to expose him. I really do. And hopefully, further reaching as well. Where am I? Everyone on the Obese to Beast video is saying, wow, you got more time than Rosie, and they didn't even ask you. That's hilarious. Oh dear. Okay, all right, sorry. I've ranted long enough. I'm having some really big feelings about this, but like I say, if you're interested in watching my take on this, $3 USD, you can cancel the subscription. You don't have to keep it going. Everything's going up. I'm going to be doing the second episode tonight. Yeah, I'm doing 2 streams today. I'm gonna be so tired. But I'm doing the second episode tonight, and I think I'll actually do the third episode this time tomorrow, because my caravan day's been rained out, so I have some time. But yeah. Okay, let's get into this, shall we?
Hi. My boyfriend Remy is here in the background, more for emotional support, to be honest. Boy, do we have a lot to discuss. What?
I said, I'm just here.
Yeah, he's probably just be working on stuff in the background, but
Sorry, yes, Bella, Patreon and Discord, it's the same stream. I'm doing multi-streams. So all of my Clucker's only streams are on both platforms. So if you're not interested in Discord, but you are interested in seeing the content, Patreon's probably the one for you. Yep. Des, hello. Is this your first message in my live today? What an entrance. I love that. Yeah, also I'm Vera the Truckin everywhere, by the way, if you're looking for me. But maybe mods, would you be willing, have you got the Patreon link? Feel free to chuck it up for people if you want to.
it's been a long time since the daytime crowd has seen me at my normal scheduled time. Hello, good to see you. A lot has happened in the wake of the documentary coming out, Big Girls Wanted, Escape.
So bear in mind, this live is from before the doc dropped. Oh, you did say good evening. Oh, I thought you were just making a heckin' entrance. I love it. Hello, Moab. Hi. You're on the Discord. It's fun. I think it's fun too. I've really enjoyed it. Hello, Geek. You will fall asleep on the next stream today. You promise. Because it's after a night shift again.
Escaping Paradise. I sometimes forget I operate on like this assumption that like everybody knows what I'm talking about at all times, and that's just not the reality, you know?
And that is called main character syndrome.
And it's been a minute since I've been live on my own platform. But mid last week I was all over TikTok, and there's a lot to discuss, and I don't want to shy away from that, but I want to try to give as much context and explanation as possible, because I know a lot of my supporters, y'all don't keep up with reaction handles. You don't keep up with like all the other stuff happening on all the other platforms. So I cannot expect you guys all to know all that, right? And I did not want to come back on my platform and like act like nothing happened.
I am so preoccupied with listening to her breathing. I'm finding it difficult to listen to the words that she's delivering. But yeah, she's about to get ready to blame reaction channels for like everything. I'm looking in her chat. Are these people for real? It says like, hey Rosie and Remy, love the off the shoulder shirt. Trolls or supporters? I'm so happy Remy was able to visit, hoping you have a blessed and beautiful time with him. What do we think? Is her breathing solely because of her health, or is this practice? I think it's her health. I was actually doing a workout the other day. Actually, yesterday. I was good. I did a workout. It was a big core workout, and now I'm a bit sore. And I noticed that I was doing some like side bends to try and, you know, loosen up the torso area. And if I compress the side of, you know, the side bend, the lungs, if you breathe in just the right moment, you can actually get the same effect as what she's doing there, which makes me feel like it's just her lungs struggling under all of that tissue, among other things, because we also know that, you know, it's a much larger engine to try and get oxygen around, and it can cause congestive heart failure, and there's just a whole heap of things, but it's just something I noticed. Just something I noticed. The girls love a good reaction channel rant. Yes. Yes. They really do. I think it's an easy cop out, like very easy, but they need us. You bet her heart is enlarged, so it's not getting enough oxygen generally. Yeah, so the interesting thing that happens, like on a physical level, when you put on kind of weight like this, you're essentially pushing all of the tissue out further than it should be, right? But all of that tissue still needs blood supply, which means veins are also increased. So if you lay out the distance that blood needs to travel on veins of somebody like Roz compared to a more proportional person, the distance that the blood needs to travel is much greater in a larger physique, right? Which means the heart needs to pump even harder to be able to facilitate the transport of oxygen around the body. And that's why it can be such an issue on the heart and on the lungs, the respiratory system, you know, all that. Do you think she's on oxygen off camera? I would be surprised if she wasn't at least using a CPAP. I don't know if anybody knows, but as for permanent oxygen, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh no. Oh, you're 16 weeks pregnant. Congratulations, Joke. You're struggling already with shallow breathing. You cannot imagine how much strain her lungs are under. She must be so uncomfortable. And not just that, but sorry to get into this. I'm not making fun of the physical. I'm talking about actual, you know, physiological changes that happen. This tissue around here is all going to be putting pressure on the windpipe, which is sitting down here, right? And so even when she's upright, because she's carrying so much, because I don't know if you've noticed, but like Amber Lynn doesn't have this here as much. But even sitting upright, this is going to be putting pressure on. So we're probably hearing a little bit of a compressed windpipe as well. None of this is going to be comfortable. And I sincerely doubt that she sleeps lying down and without a CPAP, is my feeling. We haven't seen CPAP marks on her face. No, we haven't. But yeah, maybe she sleeps sitting directly upright, but there's no way she's lying down, and that would be so risky. So risky. All valid, Court. Yes. She would have to see a doctor to get an oxygen/CPAP. That's a good point. Yeah, you don't think her breathing is performative? I don't either. But it's very predominant, isn't it? Like, it's so in your face. You think that's why she does tummy time for breathing? Maybe. Yes, especially with Ativan. Super dangerous to be using something like that without doctor's, you know, approval in a body like this. According to her, she sleeps on her stomach. I'm processing the logistics. Sorry, that's why I went quiet. I'm looking at her and like, I mean, maybe? How would you position your head without cutting off your... I don't know. I'm picturing things. Anyway, I'll... Oh, yeah, she does too. She vapes. It won't help. No, none of this helps. Yeah, I've heard Amber say that. She has to sit up when she sleeps, and that'll be to avoid the CPAP. Yeah, now you're all imagining the logistics. I'm going to leave you to continue imagining that, and I'm going to let her speak, because we are 1 minute and 43 seconds in, and we've been streaming for almost half an hour. My goodness nuggets, aren't we good at this?
Felt really disingenuous to me. And so many things have happened that I don't even know if I'm going to remember to hit them all. But I want to just kind of give you guys a bit of an update about why.
Yummy, thank you so much for coming in. My dyslexia did something really horrible with that sentence. You're trying to cook for your chicks. 2 baby chicks. Look after the babies. The babies. It's important.
I've been so quiet the past week, and everything that's going on. So I will be talking about some stuff that involves like heavier themes. I promise you, I'm not going to be getting graphic and anything, but certain terms might get thrown around. Like when I have to talk about the Amber of it all regarding CSAM, the fact that this entire documentary revolves around people who are victims of SA, things like that I have to be careful of because of YouTube's guidelines and all that. So just there is going to be some like...
What does she mean, the Amber of it all? What? Why is Amber involved? Oh, you have a snoring hubby, Quirky. Same. Hello, crazy cat lady. Welcome in. Yeah, let me know if you know what she means. I'll keep an eye on the chat. Oh, hang on. She's trying to deflect to Amber. She's done it a few times lately. Inappropriate behavior with minors. So that's how she's saying CA. The Amber of it all. Okay. Hey, Sky, welcome in. Yeah, not because she doesn't want to trigger people, just because of TOS. Yeah, her priorities are showing, are they not?
Like, serious conversation. My brother is going to be home in about an hour. He's getting home a little early today. So that's why there is also, like, in the title, like, Walmart pickup haul, because I did a little pickup order of some stuff.
We will absolutely not be getting to all of that. I just want to hear the rant about reaction channels and about the whole Stefan live and things like that. New-ish. Is it new? This one was 4 days ago. So prior to the doc dropping. It is worth keeping that in mind.
But I want to just kind of talk everything out first. So obviously I think I'm a little nervous. So as my members know, on Friday I canceled my member stream, and I did that because...
Yes, she cancelled her member stream. She was like, so sorry, all of you people that financially support me. I'm too periody and too cranky to do a live. But you know what? I'm going to go talk to Stefan on his TikTok live.
One, I had said the week prior that the new expectation moving forward is I'm only guaranteeing 2 a month, but I'll do my best to meet it every week. And I really didn't want to do it this past week, but I realized that was going to be my first time going live after After me speaking to Stefan directly and everything.
By the way, I just want to say, if any of you haven't seen the documentary, you're probably detecting a little bit more sass and frustration in my words and in my tone towards Roz than what I usually do. And it's just because of new information that has come out. So if any of this feels a little jarring to you, there is more context. And that's what's basically going on. Also, just PSA, especially with Roz, because I know a lot of people are still learning about her. Please do not take any of the criticisms that I bring to her and apply them to yourself. She is a very unique person in a very unique set of circumstances with a very unique set of behaviors that really, it's the whole picture that I'm going to be criticizing, not any one thing. That's all. Rosie's Insta stories since the doc drop have got me rolling. Do we need a side quest? Has Nikki T done them? Let me know if you want a side quest. She talks so much about nothing. Get to the point, Roz. Yeah, Roz not here. I did assume. Although, to be fair, everyone's patience is going to be getting thinner, and it is what it is. You know, I'm just a chukin. I have feelings and biases, and I am not pleased with Roz and her conduct at the moment in light of what's come out. Yes, side quest. Nikki's done them. Okay, cool. I'll find them. Yeah, I'll let this play and I'll locate them. Happy to do a side quest, especially for Nikki content.
And I didn't want the potential of me talking about anything being behind a paywall to come off a certain way. I didn't want that to be a barrier for people if they wanted to see what I was saying or doing directly after all of that. And that felt wrong. So that's ultimately, and also I was just not ready to talk yet, which I'll get into. I was just not in the right frame of mind. So
I take it it's these ones, QLR Insta Stories 9 to 10th of June. By the way, everybody, Nikki T is remonetized. If you haven't realized that yet and you might want to provide support, I encourage it. It's only like 6 minutes, but I think you're going to want to stop and talk every sentence. Okay, all right, that sounds like my cup of tea. Let's do the thing, shall we? Why no sound? Was there music? Why no sound? The one, okay, the one you linked.
Just because I'm not a victim of Stefan does not mean I am not a victim of sexual assault and exploitation in my past.
Okay. That was one sentence, right? Sorry. I'm laughing at myself wanting to pause already. 12 seconds in. She's in her bathroom. Oh, is this what? Oh, this is what you're talking. Who was talking about this last night in my live? She's on the shitter. Quirky. Okay, so I do believe that there is something that has gone on in Rosie's past as a child, probably more likely than anything. I have gone on record saying that I believe that something has happened. I don't believe that it necessarily happened completely the way that she's described it, but that is her right to divulge details or not divulge details. It's everybody's personal choice to to do that. But big giant chuckin' butt. she isn't a victim of Stefan's. And I don't know that she is a victim of anybody like Stefan. All of those stories sound wrong in some capacity. I'm not sure exactly what capacity, but yeah. Vera, look at all the air freshener. Is that it there? Crying and pooping? I mean, that just sounds efficient to me. Get 2 jobs done at once. Okay. You believe that too. It's very common for SSBBW women to have, child, like, CSA or CA or something, yeah. So let's, with that on the table, let's let her continue.
Just because you may not understand why I'm in the dock does not mean that I don't have a right to be there.
I see. Okay. Sorry. Bella, you were right. Okay. So, also, please subscribe to Nikki T. Give her love. Give her this watch as well. Nikki is amazing. She's a fellow Aussie. Not that that really matters, but, you know, she's cool. I really like her. This phrasing, I don't love. The boys are saying hello. Yeah. Saying that it doesn't mean that I don't have a right to be there is like she's aligning herself with all of them. And that is why I say she's trying to steal their spotlight. She was there as a, I don't want to say expert because they had another guy doing that, but as a similarly lived experience, like it's just another voice. Documentary producers do this all the time. It's super normal. But she is seeing it. You can see the perspective. She is seeing it like she was on that documentary because she is a victim just like them. Not of Stefan, but just like them, right? Switch out the guy is what she's saying. But she was actually there just to give another take on having done adult spicy time content like these women were doing, right? It's the wrong perspective. Her view on reality is so warped. Yeah, the boys, Mr. Chukin got home, and like dogs, you know how dogs will bark for various reasons, roosters crow for various reasons, and in this case, it's saying that Mr. Chukin has arrived home. Yeah, she was labeled an expert, but was there to speak for Zio, as her friend. I somehow doubt Zio approves. Yeah. Wait, oh, is that where that came from? I saw the pulpy thing. So did it actually label her feederism expert? Yeah, so she's not there. Even they're saying she's not there as one of the other victims. She's, yeah. Hey, Chazzy. Daddy Chuggin. Yep. That's him. It did. I think I'm covering that episode tonight. But yeah. So her perspective is really weird. Really weird here.
I'm doing the best that I can from everything that's happened in the past couple weeks to not make problems for anybody else.
You've been doing the best you can to insert yourself at every single turn so that people keep the spotlight on you. That's the best you've been doing.
I just wish someone gave a singular fuck about the fact that I'm a person with trauma too.
Hey, Dammy, you wrote a huge ass comment on Nikki T's vid, but TLDR, she's not a victim of Stefan, but she is trying to connect and relate like she is. She needs to find people who have gone through her scenario instead. I agree. I agree. And I wonder with Roz, because there is a massive victim dynamic, story in her head. I have a feeling that the reason why everything is always ramped up to the maximum level that it can be is because she feels like people are not going to listen or take her seriously if it's not extreme enough. But that's not how the world works. And all that ramping does is make us look at her and go, well, if everything is at 100%, then we can't really take you seriously, because as many of us have gone through many varieties of trauma, different aspects of said trauma are not all going to be at 100%. So, for example, I'll use my story as an example. My mother absolutely was doing Munchausen's by proxy or factitious disorder imposed on another, which the Munchausen's is the old term for it. And she was doing things that absolutely fall in that category. But having said that, not to the point of, say, there was a woman who was actually dosing her child intravenously with sodium, right? It wasn't on that level. My experience was not at 100% for that scenario. I've also dealt with CSA. Absolutely not on the level that some children have experienced, right? Those things are not at 100. What was at 100 was the coercive control that my mother exhibited over my life. That was at 100. But it's okay to have things that are not as extreme as they could be, right? Does that make sense? But Roz dials everything up. And I really believe that it's in an attempt to get people to listen to her. But if she was just there, truthful and authentic and honest about her situation, we probably all would have gone, yeah, that sucks. And we can see why you are in the place that you are in. And we support you for that. But when everything is exaggerated, it means that it casts doubt on everything. Yeah. Thank you, Cramblings. Yeah, after her ER visit, Fruity said her boil pain is like a 13 out of 10, which feels similar to me as Rosie claiming her trauma to be at 100%. Absolutely, yes. Maxine, thank you so much. Couldn't agree more. Having unfortunately gone through a lot, not everything is evaluated the same in your brain. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And as for, I was just thinking about, sorry, just to go back to what King said, calling pain 13 out of 10, like, have you ever experienced a 9 or 10 out of 10 for pain? I once got second-degree burns all over my thigh from a rogue situation of lasagna. It was not good. It is the worst pain that I've ever experienced in my entire life, and I couldn't verbalize. All I could do was scream. It's like the brain just shut off and it was just noise, and I couldn't focus on anything else. So if you can sit there and say, oh yes, I'm a 13 out of 10, you are not a 13 out of 10. Furball, thank you so much. 5 gifted memberships. Congratulations to everybody that just got that. If you want to, go check out the posts for the links. You can now see all of these documentary reactions that I'm doing. Thank you so much, Furball. Can we get some chicken butts or juicy peaches in the chat for Furball? Actually, do I have any more? I have 5. I'm sending 5. Get it. Get it. Yeah. Can we get some chicken butts or juicy peaches for Vera in the chat? Sounds like a you problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm so sorry to hear what you've gone through. Sending love and light your way. Thank you so much. I definitely don't want sympathy. I don't need it. I've gotten past, that healing part, and being able to openly discuss it on this platform is an incredibly healing thing for me. I'm getting desensitized and moving through it and understanding it more, and also helping people who might have had similar things along the way. But thank you so much. Sounds like your problem. I appreciate you. Yeah, go check out my post tab. for all of those new people. You can watch the replay. Anyway, sorry, I'll get back to Roz. Thank you so much.
And that trauma is real. The past several days, I have gone out of my way to shut the fuck up. Because it doesn't matter what I do. I am being relentlessly attacked. I just saw a comment on a video that had nothing to do with me, that was about me and how I'm making everything about me.
Roz, you're doing it right now. Like, right now. Also, why are you looking up things about yourself? None of that's going to be healthy. Don't Google yourself. Don't look into things that are about you. It's not healthy. People are going to have their opinions. And if you know beyond any doubt in your own heart that they're wrong, what does it matter? Who cares? Wide ride, not the lasagna. Not the lasagna. Yeah. Heated cheese is no joke, okay? Mm. It's like the problem is in the room with us, Ross. The call is coming from inside the house. Yeah. It's... People are saying... I don't need to say this, do I? This is mansplaining or Rachel-splaining. People are saying that you are making everything about you because you are, in fact, making everything about you. It's objective fact, okay, Nuggets?
When I wasn't even in the video. Girl World is using this opportunity to make me out to look like a fucking monster.
Roz, this might be a be careful what you wish for situation. You begged to be part of Girl World. You know how toxic Girl World can be for the people of focus. And now you're looking at it as much as Amber used to look at it, or probably still does. It's just not many people are talking about her anymore. You know, it's... geek? No, don't Google yourself. It's never a good thing. No Googling. Also, I forgot to mention, everybody who just got gifted a membership, there is a link in the description of this live as to how to link your YouTube account to Discord. If you want to jump in the Discord, it's very fun. And it's a way to watch the Cluckers only content as well that I do every week. If you still have trouble with the tutorial that's in the link, just send me a friend request on Discord and screenshot your membership status and I'll get you in. No problem at all.
While creating the problem. And I just did not anticipate certain parts of this. I'm not talking about the live stream stuff and all that. I've said what I've said on that, and I'm culpable in that aspect. I'm talking specifically about how people keep saying actual victims.
Actual victims. Benita, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Congratulations, Massing Out. Courtesy of Southern Benita. Can we get some juicy peaches or chicken butts in the chat for Southern Benita? So, Roz is getting the pushback on this because of the way she's dealt with it. This is a very simple cause and effect kind of situation. Action and consequence. If she was excited that she was going to be in a documentary, which I understand because it's an HBO documentary, it is a kind of like, it's very mainstream, very public. She could have just said, hey guys, I'm going to be in this documentary as an external voice on what it's like to be in the adult spicy time content as an SSBBW, and you know, check it out if you want to. But instead, she's been going into Stefan's lives. She's been having a back and forth with Stefan. She gave him the time of day. She's been talking about this as though she's one of those girls, which is where people got the idea to begin with, by the way. And now she has the nerve to sit here on her toilet crying about the fact that Girl World is, quote, using it as an excuse to hate her? Yeah, Bella, right? Actual victims of Stefan. That's the sentence, not actual victims, full stop. And I don't doubt that if you've oh sorry, I'll just read this. She's acting like we have, quote, villain edited her, but we only use her own videos and her own words to talk about the kind of person she is. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had to do no digging on Roz to come to the conclusion that I've come to. She's done all of this herself. She's crying on the toilet. Oh no. What is this? Are you talking about Stefan? Yes. If he ever appears in here, I don't think he would. I think I'm a bit too small of a channel to get that kind of attention. But if you ever see him in here, this is not a safe space for him. I don't want him in here. I don't want to hear his story. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want the poo touching me, right? Anyway. You'll see you're smacking him. Yummy's like, bring it, bitch. If he's here, yeah. I think he's just been going into the larger channels though. I don't think he will appear here. I'd be very smacking him with the mod hammer. I love that. Yeah, no, this is not a safe Stefan place. I had that man clocked before I knew anything about him. He is very transparent and very predatory. Dramatic pause.
Watching people twist some of my most personal trauma into how I'm a liar.
Okay, so I am pausing every sentence, aren't I? I'm sorry. Okay, let me phrase this. I started this channel with the intent on sharing my past, my trauma, everything that I've been through, but for very, very teeny tiny details that I don't really want to speak about in explicit detail, you pretty much hear it all, right? And when I started the channel, I was doing it aware that, one, sometimes, some people may not believe what I'm saying. And I'm really genuinely okay with that because I know what happened and that's kind of the end of it. Or two, they might twist it out of context. And I went forward with the channel knowing that that might happen one day. And the reality is, if you're not ready to be able to deal with that within yourself, within your own heart, then you shouldn't be talking about it online. And if these things have legitimately happened to her and she isn't ready for this kind of thing, she absolutely shouldn't have been talking about it. But the reality is, she was talking about it because she wanted the attention that it brought. That's why she went on this weird little self-advertising tour across two magazines and 2 podcasts, and then she was pestering a whole bunch of reaction channels at the same time. She was sharing her trauma for the attention. And to sit here and now take the stance that she's doing, well, I'm really sorry, but this is just part of being on the internet. And you need to, if it's true, and if everything you're saying is true, you need to just get to the point where you're okay within yourself to know, I know what happened, it doesn't really matter what everybody else thinks. And yeah. she can at any point revoke consent on talking about anything. She can say right now, I'm not going to be entertaining any more conversations about this, nor will I be talking about this. And that's the important part, because she has revoked consent before on things, but then she keeps talking about it. She can just stop. And if people don't get the reaction that they're wanting out of her, they will stop as well. But she keeps this going because on some level she loves this. She loves all of this. Yes, wasn't it said recently she was caught in a lie that once she said her mum died, it's hard to trust these pathological liars. Don't blame people for being skeptical. 100% girl, please. Absolutely. The lies cast doubt on the truths. And that's the situation you put yourself in when you prove yourself to be that kind of person.
Like, I think the big one I saw was when I was in those streams and I was being just barraged with hate. People were saying that I lied about, like, I said that I was basically raped over the internet, like, that all this stuff, when they took a real traumatic experience out of context.
I don't like the word hate, because what Roz is experiencing is people who are hurt and frustrated about the fact that Roz is using either their stories or someone that they know's stories for attention and using it basically for clout when they've actually, or known someone that has actually gone through it and knows what the pain is, you know? And that's what people are expressing. They're like, why are you lying about everything? You're using something that I genuinely went through that traumatized me to my core, and here you are sitting on the internet, and they're frustrated.
In the We're All Insane podcast interview, I shared the story about what I believe was the first attack of my cyber stalker. How he blackmailed me, used the fact that I was, an ex-Mormon, afraid of my parents finding out that I was posting illicit photos online at the time, because my parents and I hadn't had a lot of conversations, and I genuinely was afraid they would disown me. And he collected my family's information.
Amanda, thank you so much. What a time to come back in. So, just walk back in after trimming the orchard. Is she filming on the toilet? Yes, she is indeed filming on the toilet. Oh my god, why though? Thank you so much, Amanda. I appreciate you. Shower thoughts, toilet thoughts. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, right? Can't say I would film myself having them, but yeah. It's not hate, it's genuine concern. Yeah, it's probably a range of things. Hate is the wrong word. Hate, see, the language we use matters, because to call it hate frames it in one light only, like a very two-dimensional light. These people just hate me, and so they're relentlessly coming at me. But no, okay, there's probably some, and I would say it's probably the minority of people who genuinely just hate her. Most of them are going to be feeling a different thing. It's not hate. And they also probably want to try and communicate their stance to her, and they're feeling not heard, which ups the ante on the anger, right?
And he coerced me into doing something.
I'm sorry. No. Sorry, the cohorts got me. Okay, continue. Let's compose, Vera. Compose.
Something I've never even told a therapist about.
Oh, what? No. See, this makes it sound inauthentic. You haven't talked to a therapist about it, but you'll get on the internet on a very large platform with some rando that you've never talked to before and discuss these things on their podcast for personal gain, for exposure, for clout. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And that is just one of the things he did during an 8-year period. That story is real. I've never fucking lied about that or
That story's real? Does that insinuate that other stories are not?
any of my fucking trauma.
She covered herself. She caught it. She got herself in a lie.
And I'm...
Wow, you're laughing. Rod's got co-horsed and you're laughing. It's funny. I'm sorry. She did steal that from... Is that, like... It's not like an American, dialect thing, is it? Like, certain states say co-horsed or something like that? Because I know Amber does. Did she steal it from Amber? Or is this, like, something that people legitimately say? It's... Oh, quirky. No, it's an idiot thing. Something Amber would say. It's something Amber does say. She deliberately now I can't speak. Mispronounces. There we go. The word. So, yeah, it's an Amber thing. She's stolen it from Amber.
Reaching to a point, I'm not engaging in reaction content about me. I'm doing my best.
No. You are engaging because by acknowledging that it's happened, by addressing it in any way, shape, or form, is engaging with it. You don't have to be in their lives or in their comment sections. Look, I'm saying they're like I'm not one of them. You don't have to be doing those things to be engaging with it. Just the acknowledgement. This whole video is engaging with it.
To avoid it, but I'm getting so much in my DMs and in my own comments. People who've put my cousin's names in my comments, who, by the way, is the man currently serving 30 years in federal prison for his shit with CSAM. Look, I get that I'm...
Yeah. Benita, get off the internet, dear. You can make that decision easily. Yeah. But then she doesn't get her currency fed, which is the attention of it all. You heard it. Mispronunciates. Oh gosh, clip that. Vera being an idiot herself. I own it. It's okay. It happens sometimes. You can do it, Vera. Pronounce those words. Use your enunciation. Thank you for the faith. Thank you.
Controversial, and that I've recently fucked up. I'm just a person, man. This is real. This is real.
And as a person, you can make all of this stop. You can just go. You can just close all of your accounts. If this is not okay with you, if this is legitimately crossing a line, and if this is really causing you inner angst, then get offline. Just go. It's fine. The reaction channels will find somebody new within a day. Everybody will forget it. There might be a handful of slightly unusual people who persist a little bit longer, but like, just go. That's all it takes. But you won't, because your currency is attention. And your currency is thriving in drama. And so you will stay here and you'll complain about it, but you'll never leave.
I'm not lying. And I'm trying to do everything I can to not make things worse. But it's like I'm constantly caught between this push and pull of like wanting to speak out and defend myself and wanting...
See, I understand, you know, there are a handful of comments that I've gotten in my time on the internet where people are just hell-bent on misunderstanding you, and that's their version of enjoying interacting with the content, right? And I understand the want to clarify and to say your piece and to correct the notion and, you know, things like that. I get that that's a feeling that happens inside. But just like Amber Lynn, we don't need to do everything our brain feels. We just don't. Sometimes it's just going to brain. Sometimes it's just going to, you know, have some moments of telling you that you want to do things that really aren't beneficial. But you might want to clarify, you might want to say your piece, but you don't have to, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what randoms on the internet think about your story. Just let it go. And I feel like the entertaining it and wanting to clarify actually invests more of yourself, so then you get more hurt when it goes wrong, right? Yeah, just confirming. This is correct. She's never been to Paradise. She sent him a message on his Discord saying that she'd like to check it out, but she never went. It's just, you know, the cost versus reward is what we're talking about here, but the reality is her reward is higher than the cost she's experiencing right now.
Stay quiet to not cause more problems. All I know is I'm really anxious about tonight, because just because Stefan is the one that hurt me doesn't mean I wasn't hurt.
Who's saying that? So I've been around a bit. To be fair, my finger's not on the pulse as much as it used to be, because my mental health is also important. But who's saying that? Who's saying if you're not a victim of Stefan's, then you are not a victim at all? Where is that comment being said? I don't doubt that it has been said, but my feeling is, like other things, it's probably one person trying to push her buttons, and she's making it sound like many people are saying this. Is she just inserting herself into the mix? Absolutely. She is trying to take the real victims' spotlight from them and put it on herself. It's inappropriate and irresponsible and totally unfair to those brave women who have come forward to speak about it. Yeah, but nobody's saying that, Roz, because this just isn't about you. So well said. Literally no one said that. She's not a victim of this man. This situation is... Possibly. I think this is part of it. Thank you for sharing this, Sarah. I haven't seen you in here before. Welcome. Her behavior comes from not getting enough love, affection, validation as a child. Her brother, being autistic, probably was treated so special, so they totally ignored her, hence her always trying to be a victim. I suspect that it is something like that, where malingering comes from a root of, or it can come from, I should say, comes from witnessing a sibling or a parent or somebody, whatever, getting all of the attention, and it can go into that kind of thing. I would be hesitant to put all of the blame on the parents, just because I have a feeling there's more to it here. And I don't think it's that necessarily he was made to feel more special. I think it was her perception that she wasn't getting the attention. Classic middle child syndrome. Is she the middle? She said that's an issue of hers too, people saying real victims. And you just said it. I did too. Freudian slip. Whoops. Real victims pertaining to this very specific situation that we're discussing. Yes. She is not a victim of this situation. And we're not discussing the other situation because this is about the documentary. Yeah. Yes, I saw that post. Charlie clocked a total of 82.94 seconds of Rosie in the documentary. She is in the middle. There you go. You're in the middle. You tell it sucks. Oh, poor Jen.
Just because that isn't part of my story doesn't mean that I had something to add. Well, I don't know, man.
Oh, this was funny. LV actually sent me this too. So this was on the trailer. Hang on. I need to get my face close to the screen. I need to touch the microphone. Oh, we're going in. We are going in. So this is Roz's Instagram story, and she clipped this. She's looking for everything from herself. I'm sorry if this sounds a little close and a little intimate. I apologize. The top comment on this trailer was, "Where is Rosie, the one that says they don't tell you the price that you pay?" And someone responded saying, "LOL, this is such a PR nightmare for ID. Rosie has single-handedly removed all the spotlight from the real victims." Sorry, that's the term again. And put it on herself. Great job, ID. You enabled something blanked out. And now the victims are being talked over. I hear you, Savvy, and I'm so sorry you went through this. And someone else responded, "So let me first say, I don't like Rosie at all, but you can't complain that Rosie is making this about herself when you do this." Is this Roz? Is this a sock account? This trailer is the story of an actual victim, and you're the one making it about Rosie. And then Roz has put over the top, "Mind you, I've been basically silent for a week." For when? When, Roz? When exactly was the silence? Because we're watching this. Oh, no. Try again. We're watching this, and that was 4 days ago. 2 days, I think, before that, you were on Stefan's live. Like, so when exactly were you silent? And then she also says, "Other men hurt and exploit fat women too." Yes, but, sorry, touching the microphone again. But the thing is, this is about this particular documentary. Roz is trying to make it about the bigger picture. It's no, we're talking about the documentary. Silent in her dreams. You must have missed the week of silence. Yeah. You and me both. You can sense it out, Roz. Do you think that's what it said? Just Roz? Oh, that's right. She doesn't like Roz. That's why I say it. Yeah, okay, I forgot about that. Glam is a member of Charlie and Scar's community. Really? Interesting comment then. Curious. Very curious. That's all right. People are allowed to have their opinions though. And people are allowed to support what they want to support. Not a sock. Gotcha. Yes, I agree with that, Quirky. It's the one thing I respect her for, protecting her sister and nieces and nephews. Although what it does highlight is that she does have the ability to do that when she has to. She just chooses not to for her parents, her brother, and her boyfriend. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's highlighting one person. 24 emails in the last 30 days. Yeah, I mean, okay. Sometimes you come across strange people when you get onto the internet. It's a thing. It happens. I've encountered them too. A few actually. It happens. These are in the trash. This person should just be blocked. Why are they in a situation where, whoops, I clicked. Why are they in a situation where she can see them and move them to the trash? Yeah, shouldn't you just block after the first email? If you don't want the drama invited into your life, these are the sorts of things that you do. So we find out what the price she paid was. Not her, no. We do find out the price that other women have paid, though. Unfortunately, it's quite dark. It's very dark, actually. Thank you so much for linking Nikki T. This is courtesy of the wonderful Nikki T. So yeah, that was worth the side quest. Thank you. That was a very lengthy side quest. Shall we go back to 4 minutes and 4 seconds of this live?
Starting, I guess it was Wednesday. I'll be honest, the exact dates of these are fuzzy for me. I have not seen any reactionary content. I haven't seen any of the clip playbacks. All of it. I'm going off my own memory here, so if they're not exact, I do apologize. I'm doing the best that I can on that front.
Is it just me? Like, personally, I am aware that I'm still a smaller channel. But I anticipate that if I keep going with this, which I'm going to keep growing, right? It's inevitable, which means eventually somebody's going to start doing videos about me or talking about me or doing shorts about me or whatever it is. Personally, I don't really want to know about them, right? Is that a crazy thought? See you, girl, please. Thanks so much for coming in. Yeah, I wouldn't seek them out. I don't necessarily want people to tell me about them. If I am told about them, I'm not going to go watch them. Like, is that like such a hot take here? Just don't look at it.
Leading up to what I think was on Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday. Stefan and the Paradise people had really been like coming at me. That day in particular, he had posted a TikTok of a meme tagging me, and he was just constantly poking and prodding at me. Alongside all the shit that I've been dealing with Crow World and everything. And I was definitely at my wit's end about it, to be real. And
that sounds like a threat, Secret Bird. You're gonna get steamrolled. Someone's gonna take issue with you. I'm kind of low-key surprised that someone hasn't already, to be honest with you. Especially one person in particular who I have been realistically quite harsh with. So
just trying to navigate the situation without, hurting people has also been something I'm trying to figure out as well. And I had been keeping up really heavily through stuff while still trying to like protect myself, because I'm not trying to watch reaction shit about me. But I did catch some shit because I was spending a lot of time the week leading up to that, like watching Ziomara's lives and all of that. And so I had caught some things here and there in that regard, but I was heavily involved in the conversation, and there had been a few times where I had went to like lurk in Stefan's live, and I don't do that shit with like a fake account. I don't. Stefan, by the way, is the guy that's going to be talked about and featured primarily in the documentary that's coming out. So lurking just means like sitting in the background, like you're just watching. Like there's a lot of people that lurk my lives. Like they don't interact in the chat. They might not even subscribe. They're just watching.
Whoops, just realized I'm on top chat. Shame. Not for my stuff, for her stuff. Oh, joke. That's your perspective. It's not a crazy thought. I think you do things differently in a respectful manner. There's not really much to critique. People find it. They really do. I'm glad that you feel that way, and I think most people that stay in the community feel that way, but it is subjective for sure. Lurk in his live. Oh, my antivirus is acting like a virus. Stop it. Oh my gosh, this is like the 3rd time this stream. Cease. That's what you're saying. Having an opinion or criticism opens you up for the same. Exactly. And theoretically, hopefully, reaction channels start their channel understanding that that's going to happen. But it's the ones who actively seek it out and then create meta context. That's the weird ones. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right? So that's what I was doing on multiple occasions. But on TikTok, when you join a live, it says so-and-so joined. And so when they can see my name and they know who I am, they know I'm in there, right? And like, I don't operate behind fake alt accounts on TikTok.
Oh, you're gonna cast shade on fake alt account. Okay, so I now do have a YouTube sock account. It's actually just my personal account that I've converted. And I also have personal accounts on all of the social media platforms. It makes sense because oftentimes if you hear about the big reaction channels where they're getting blocked and things like that, and yeah, your main account is going to be the one that isn't able to see things. So it's not this shady underhanded thing, it's just a research mechanism. And I never comment, I don't do anything with those accounts other than just look, and they're the ones that I will download things from, right? But she's gonna make this sound so incredibly shady. Yes, I think she craved attention so badly that she's jealous of the victims in the documentary, which is next level bonkers bananas. I think that is so appropriate, Furball. I think that's exactly what's happening. And is it not enough, like, attention and spotlight to say this HBO documentary wanted me as an expert on their panel? Is that not enough? Why do you also have to be one of the victims in that situation? It's just, it's odd. It's the way she thinks is wrong. It's warped. It's not compatible with reality.
Or YouTube or shit. Like, I don't do that. The only anonymous accounts I have are on Reddit, and that's because Reddit is an anonymous forum, right? So leading up to that, I had a lot I wanted to say to him and would have wanted to have a conversation with him about, but I did not believe it would be possible to have any kind of productive conversation until that day I joined the live. And he did what he was doing. He was just, I mean, to his own admittance, like, bullying me. And I finally said to him, because I was just fed up, and I just said, I mean, the real question is, was I even talking about you in terms of the trailer? And I watched it dawn on him for, like, the first time that, like, oh, maybe this isn't all about me, and I felt like there was an opportunity for a conversation. And so we had one. And that's clipped all over. I don't know how much. I don't know if someone clipped the whole thing.
I had a toilet thought, and I didn't film it. But I'm going to share it with you now. It just occurred to me that in this weird little back and forth thing that she's had with Stefan, she started it. Shots were fired from her first. She invited this drama. And then because she talked about him on a live, I think when she was talking about the actual documentary. And then he did a live saying that he didn't know her and that he's never flirted with her or something like that. And then she pulled up receipts proving that that was wrong because, I don't know, she had two very oblique conversations, and not even conversations, like messages with him. Like, to the point where you would understand that he doesn't remember who she is, honestly. And then she went on his TikTok. This is all Roz is doing. All of it. Are you telling me you're in the toilet? As we speak. You may have to be right back as you have your own toilet time. Do I open my phone to mod from the toilet? I'm going to leave that up to you and your private thoughts. Oh dear. Oh really? You had the best nap earlier. You were listening to Vera's stuff on Rachel and had morphine and went to sleep, and it was so soothing. I'm delighted. Hopefully nothing creepy came out of it, because I know morphine can be interesting. Hey, down by the river. You feel like you should have a little bit of sympathy for Roz. She's clearly hurting. I cannot begin to understand her, but I can't deny she's not okay. She needs to speak with a therapist, not the web. Yeah, normally I would agree with you, and I think it's really, really wonderful that you feel that way, for the record. I personally am feeling very fired up about how she has been taking the spotlight from these women who need their story heard. So at the moment, I'm not feeling terribly empathetic for her. I think we can definitely feel sympathy for the child version of her that got hurt, but the way she's conducting herself as an adult at the moment is unforgivable and unexplainable. And yeah, right now I'm going to be in my own feelings and feel quite upset about what she's done to these women. You can't find your sympathy bone. Yeah, I think the way that we all feel and interpret things, it's all valid, you know. None of it's going to be wrong, none of it's going to be right. It just is how we feel in that moment. I will simmer down over time, though. I absolutely will. But right now we're in the thick of this doc and the reaction, and I'm pissed. I am really pissed.
Saying it did it unedited. I would hope so, because from the bits and headlines that I've caught.
And sorry, just to elaborate on that thought, I think the biggest thing that is getting to me is the way she's handling this and trying to insert herself and be seen as one of the victims. She's done this before with other topics, where by her doing it the way she's doing it, right? This could absolutely be done in a better way. She could be getting up on this platform and saying, I understand what these women are saying, and I am proud of them for coming forward, and I've been through something, not exactly the same, but similar, and I support them. I am here to shout their names in praise, right? She could be doing that, but the way she's doing it, and the way that she's done other things in the past, like, for example, using the R word that rhymes with grape in circumstances that it shouldn't be, or using the term gang stalking when it wasn't. All of that is actively undermining those people who have actually gone through those experiences, who have actually felt the trauma. And I've gone in depth about the stalking before, because as you know, many of you know, I am currently actively being stalked, although it's been quiet for a little while, which is probably a good thing. I know what it feels like to hide in the house pretending like there's no one home with the lights off because there's somebody outside the clucking house. I know the fear. I know what it's like to try and move and escape and hide, and I know all of that. And to hear her talking about, oh, somebody took a paparazzi photo of her once when she was out being ridiculously loud and screeching at the top of her lungs from the car, calling that stalking, that undermines my experience and the fear and the trauma that I went through in those moments, right? And it's not, that's just one example, but she's done it with so many things. And what she's doing right now with taking the spotlight from these women, it's undermining their experience that they went through with Stefan. Not everything has to be about Roz all the time. And it just, the most dangerous thing that it does is, because she casts doubt on her stories because of all of her lies that she's told, it can in turn cast doubt on true victims. And that is really, really problematic. And you think about the Me Too movement, right? There were so many brave people. I say people because it wasn't just women. I don't like it when the Me Too movement is just about women. But the Me Too movement was very good and very powerful for a lot of people. But you also then started to get people that were chiming in on it because they regretted something or because they wanted the attention, and there were false accusations going out. That is damaging for the greater movement, for the actual victims that went through that. And that is what is most concerning about what Roz is doing. Casting doubt on people who really need it. And while I'm sitting here in a place of strength saying, I genuinely don't care if people don't believe my story. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the past, doesn't change the growth. I am also sitting here in acknowledgement that there are many people probably in this chat right now who are not in that place, who are afraid that people are not going to believe their story. And people like this, people like Roz, cause that fear in people. So, yes, sorry, another rant. I'm a little pissy today, aren't I? I apologize. I am heated. My feathers are ruffled. Quirky. Like the stream or Roz's dirty paper plate will rub on your face tonight. Yucky. Better like the stream, everyone. Thank you, Quirky. You feel like the feeder storyline was a red herring and completely unnecessary. There's something wrong with a lot of her stories. Sassy Chicken Day. Yeah, but am I wrong about what I'm saying? And I just... Why are we making our personality be, I am the biggest victim in the entire world? Do you have so little to offer in your mind, in your heart, in your life, that that's what you need to latch onto? Maxine, thank you. It's the same with chronic illness. Yes, exactly, actually, especially invisible ones. Same with chronic illness, her exaggeration undermining really sick people. It is. And I know that there's quite a few of you in this community who have said that kind of thing as well, especially around like the fibromyalgia and things like that. Gets people very, very cranky. Thank you so much, Maxine. I appreciate you. Yeah. It's all the same. If I sat down and really thought about it, I could probably fill a page with topics that she's done this with, where she is the most whatever. Hey, see, Rachel and her, the same person. She is the most whatever, and in that message is undermining somebody's experience in many ways. Even the autism thing, right? Even that. And yeah, I know. I'm probably finished my rant. I'll calm down a little bit, and then I'll roll myself back up again tonight. What fun.
I've seen a lot of the picking and choosing of certain moments and things like that, but that's just what Grow Up does. So I hope that that's the one thing about TikTok lives that suck is like there's no replay to see it like directly from the source if you weren't there unedited. But I had a conversation with him where I thought I made it clear that I was like, we're not friends. I'm not here to like get a friendship out of this. I just want to have a conversation.
Actually, in that TikTok live, you kind of looked like you were trying to be friends with him. You looked like you were trying to understand him and give him a platform to say his piece, which, given who he is and what he's done, even if you want to say that a lot of what was said in the documentary can't be proved and is, just a narrative that the producers are spinning, even if you wanted to say that, which I don't think, but even if you wanted to say that, just the content house, who he's getting in, how he vets them, and what he's looking for, what he does, just that alone, that he himself has admitted to, makes him a predator. And she wants to platform him and give him a chance to speak.
Conversation. He did directly apologize to me for bullying me, which I did not expect. And some people gave me shit for not apologizing back, which I purposefully didn't do because of my own reasons. And because ultimately I wasn't the one poking and prodding at him. And so
that is the right word, isn't it? Platforming a pimp. And Rita the pimp. I have some thoughts about Rita. I want to do some digging on Rita, actually. the whole situation is interesting. But that is the right word, because in the true sense, you know, there's that control factor, and there's the emotional and physical manipulation, and yeah, I feel like pimp is the right word. Captor is also a word that comes to mind, quite frankly. But yeah. Rita the recruiter, Ghislaine, yeah, too. Yeah, there's something wrong there. And the fact that she comes across as so warm, after what she said, is very creepy. That's how she gets them. This, like, really warm, understanding mother figure who's spouting off body positivity things that troubled people want to hear, want that acceptance, want that love. She's nasty. You like Ghislaine XL?
I wanted that to stop, and I wish in hindsight, like what I know now, I wish I had seen how being as neutral as I was could have had a far more negative net impact than I was cognizant to.
That is sort of taking accountability adjacent. Is she gonna ruin it in the next sentence?
Because, and I'm going to get back and kind of readdress things, but there's just so much to cover here. Because after that happened...
Oh, yeah. Layla. Women feel safer being invited somewhere when a woman does it. So, I know a lot of you are in the true crime community. But is it not like, I'm thinking of it... Why can I never think of their names while I'm on live? It's like that part of my brain just switches off. I'm thinking of a UK couple, and the woman was very pretty and very modern. And basically the woman would lure these girls into the car, and then both of them would cause the harm. Yeah, I think there's been plenty of times throughout history where a woman has been used to lure. And this is no different. Ian and Marla. Moore's murderers, yes. Is her name Cindy? Can't remember their names either. No, it just, I don't know. No, oh yeah, Ken and Barbie did it too, but no, I was thinking about the UK ones, the Moore's murderers. That's definitely who I was thinking of. But yeah, you're right. There's been a few of them, right? Yes. Down by the river, thank you so much. I will always have sympathy for everyone, even the guilty. I am not the one to hold on to anger, and my brain wants to understand their motives and reasoning behind the behaviors. I love that. I love that so much. I want to say that I am with you like a good 99% of the time there, and to the point where I've been criticized for humanizing people that people are not ready to humanize. But right now I'm going to be in my feelings of pissy. No, that's amazing. Down by the river. You don't know that quality that you hold is so powerful, and I wish it could be more prolific throughout the world. I really do. Hello, whoa. Mara Henley. That sounds right. Thank you, Isabel. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, right? So you've got this, if not pretty woman, then warm, like Rita is, and it's always the same thing, and then behind them there's always this twisted man, but then when you dig a little bit more, you find out that those women are just as capable of said heinous acts. But I feel like societally or culturally, we're really geared towards thinking that women are the caretakers, women are safe, women are the ones that raise children, and I gotta tell you, not always. Really, really not always. My mother, for example, a really good example of somebody that is not safe and should not be having children around them.
That night, we had a planned internet outage that was supposed to be back in the early morning. But for our internet, it didn't come up until like an hour before I was in Zio Mara's live. And Zio is someone else affiliated with the documentary. And a bunch of craziness happened in that live. Trust me, we'll get there. In that time, I slept like a fuck ton. Like right before I joined Zio's live, I posted some Instagram stories where like I didn't even see until a couple hours later. Just I hadn't even removed the crusties from my eyes. And I had like slept. I slept most of the night and all day. Like, because as you guys had known, I was really struggling with sleep until like these past multiple days. I've actually been sleeping pretty good. Fucking finally. And
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just reading this comment. This is such a, can I just say that everybody who quote hates or dislikes or, wants to slam reaction channels, they all say the same shit, which for the record makes it really easy to tune it out. When you're saying the same thing, it's like talking to the same person. There's just one person saying all of this. Boiling this down, this comment says, you have to be, or no, actually you have to be, but I assume have to be, a really boring, you have to have a really boring life to sit there and judge others or just be unhappy with your life. People absolutely suck, Rosie, but your grammar, such a beautiful clucking soul. This is what they all say. This is such a two-dimensional take, and look, if that's what you need to tell yourself that that's what reaction channels are doing, go off, seriously. But it is but a fraction of the story. You love a boring life. Trimmer, I'm so with you there. I find that life tends to bring its own enough drama on its own. Why are we looking for it?
I just want to say that.
Oh, there's another comment there. Conversation? He's a predator, girl. Why? Yep.
I was like offline that whole time. So I found out some stuff like while I was actively talking with the other participants in Ziomara's live, like in the beginning part of that live, when I was more involved.
I love that, Shazzy. And yes, I think we got to agree there are people of all religions / non-religious, race, genders, sexuality, ages that have both good and evil people, and just to add to that, all in between as well. It's why it's important not to generalize groups. Exactly. And it's why I have in my rules that I don't want discrimination against any group. I don't care if they're the flavor or not the flavor at the moment. You can't surmise a person by whatever they belong to, because any group that you identify with has a really heinous person in it, guaranteed. I went digging into my familial history, and not good, really not good, especially the German side of things. You can't be like, are you a summation of the group that you are part of, whether you choose to be or not? It is, you got to look at the individual. Yeah, and none of that, thanks, Dasri. No, none of that either. Any group, I mean it, any group. Hey Sonny, the German side of things. my history, it's a bit rough.
Again, I'll get back and kind of go into more specifics in a minute, but ultimately, even before the end of that live, like when I dropped out of Zio's live, and I had some time to kind of, once I learned some new information and once kind of everything just hit me, I was like, I just need to sit back, shut up, and listen.
I love that, Nutty. One person is not a representative of the whole group. And to flip that, a whole group is not representative of one person either.
And that's what I did. I didn't feel like there was any other course of action that was the right one. Because in initially talking with Stefan, what I wish I had realized is that first part of the conversation was really what I was there for. And in staying and continuing the conversation and going on, which we did talk about a wide variety of topics. I can't even go into all of it. We talked about a lot of different things. And there was just like different aspects regarding, and I had questions I wanted, just whether I believed him or not, I just was staying neutral. And I didn't think that through, like how that could come off or how that could impact other people. I really didn't. But I wanted to have that part of the conversation, and I wanted to ask those questions. But there was a point near the end where when they were talking to me, it took me a little while to catch on, but eventually I caught on to like, oh, they're like trying to talk me into a circle to like agree with them and like condone this. And I'm like, that's not what I'm here to do. So I kind of just walked that back, and eventually I was like, dude, it was so late.
No. That's not what happened, Roz. See, this gaslighting shit, this rewriting history, I don't like that. No. A reaction channel went into that live and started putting the pressure on her. That's when she rage quit. It wasn't because Stefan was trying to talk her in circles. Absolute no. No, Roz, no. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. You did. No, you didn't realize anything. We all saw it. Yeah, we did. We did.
By the time I got off, I was like, it's time for me to just like try to go like rest.
But also, why was she in there? So the scenario is, let me lay this out, because think about it as a rational adult sitting here right now. You went on a podcast to talk about your life because it's kind of unique. You then had a production company contact you saying that they're making a documentary about this particular situation, and we've seen the podcast, so we know that you have adjacent life experience. So we would really love to get your take on that. You're like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'll fly to Vegas. I'll have the interview, and then a couple of years later or whatever it was. Like, how long ago was it? It was a bit of time ago, wasn't it? Then the documentary drops its trailer, and you get on your platform and you say, yeah, you know, I'm going to be in this. Check it out. What do you do? How are you viewing this? How do you conduct yourself on your platform? Do you start inserting yourself into the villain of that story? The thing is called escaping paradise. You know the angle they're going to take. Even if Stefan didn't know what it was going to be at the time, I have to think he didn't know what it was going to be, but like, you know by the title what they're going to be saying. Are you contacting him? Are you watching his lives? Are you getting into his live? Even if you get busted watching it because you were just curious, do you go on live and then give him time? I don't know. Is that true, Darkwick? Have I got that wrong? That's the thing, Vera ID didn't reach out to her. Rosie reached out to ID. I kind of believe that. Did they do a call out saying, you know, we're doing a documentary on this. Does anyone have life experiences? And do we have receipts of this? Where did this come from? Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, right? She what? But my point being, whether she reached out to them or whether they reached out to her, why are you having anything to do with the person that is being painted as a predator in this documentary? Why would you even begin to have a back and forth, let alone put yourself on a screen with him. It doesn't make sense unless you really like the drama. Yeah. You think Nikki T mentioned it? Need to ask to confirm. Where's Nikki? Someone get Nikki. We need Nikki. It does make sense. It does. Yeah, it's definitely plausible. I am not sitting here hearing this and going, huh? Yeah, she sends magazines her story and pics. We know that. Yeah, so it does make sense that she might contact them as well. Hey, Probably an Omen. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon too. I saw you come in. Thank you. I don't think she ever considers the consequences of her actions. She opens that mouth long before a thought long before a thought fully forms. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Thank you for helping Nikki go through her channel monetization. She shouted you out. Oh, no, it was my pleasure. I've been talking to Nikki behind the scenes. I wasn't at all concerned. We checked it all and it looked clean. She's also coming in at a really good moment where they're not being quite as tight with the restrictions. Things have died down a bit, but yeah, no, she deserves it. I'm really happy for her. I'm sure she's just scouting everything for BBW and avoids the weight loss ones. Yeah. Aw, Quirky. I didn't do much for you. Just a little tweaks. You are largely on the right path. I'm just see the thing is I'm just a nerd who reads everything and then I accumulate all of this back-end knowledge and can use it for good. Always happy to help anyone.
And so after Zio's live, I don't know if it was that night or the following night, I listened to
oh shit. But reactors are dicks, right? I didn't get that memo. I'll have to shift. I'll change my behavior. Thank you for letting me know.
one of the relatives of Shay, the girl who passed away. I listened to her family, like her family members live, and just I didn't interact until they directly asked about me being it, because again, you can see viewers on TikTok.
And you could have said no. You could have just gone, nah, not for me, not my scene, or just left the live at that point. Like, you went on because you wanted the attention. You went on because you liked the drama of it. That's the reality, Roz. Saying anything except that only makes you look disingenuous and like a liar, frankly.
And I just made it clear, like, I'm just here to, like, listen. Like, I'm not trying to insert I'm just trying to learn here. And, I guess make space for that.
Yes, this is well called out, Porcelain. She acts like she acts like this was all beyond her control. And I think that's what frustrates me most about Roz, because everything in this life, well, no, I won't say everything, within reason, most things in this life are choices. Sometimes the choice is a choice where an alternative is so undesirable that you kind of feel like you need to make the opposite choice, but everything is a choice, right? And it always comes down to, what do you want more? The fact that she does these actions, makes these choices, gets into these situations, and then turns it back on the other person in a completely devastating way, makes up very elaborate stories to make that person look so bad that you couldn't possibly say that she had any choice in this situation. That's what I think gets me the most. And I do understand you know, having lived it personally, I get torn, right, because of my history. I understand that she is in the grips of Arrested Development. I see that. I get it. I think that it is so thick that right now, without help, she probably couldn't get out of this on her own. I do believe that. But this constant, it's even more relentless than Amber Lynn, I think. This constant need to push accountability onto everybody else in every situation. It's not good. Hello, Miriam. Just popping in real quick to say hi, chickens. We'll be back on the replay. Love it. Love it. That video of Remy with the food, is that the one, the Texas bonus vlog where we were just looking at his crotch for 40 minutes? Was so creepy. Did you react to it? I beg you to. I haven't yet. He's 100% a fame whore, and he prepared that food with as much enthusiasm as Eugenia does. Oh dear. I haven't yet. It was an option for today. Maybe I can do it on Monday's stream. If it's good, we can do that. Unless Rachel does something obscene. Choosing not to decide is a choice. This statement of the live right there. Mm-hmm.
And so I have a lot that I want to say, and I quite literally legally can't. There is a lot of stuff going on in my life.
Do we believe this? And how much of it do we believe? So that is insinuating that there's an NDA. I don't doubt that they do employ, like they do use NDAs in production settings. I don't know if they would need one for just her coming in for an interview. Tell me what you think. Tell me if anybody else feels differently or has experienced differently. Like, for example, I could see if she was going on a reality show that there'd be an NDA because there's shenanigans that go on in the background. But I don't know. I don't know if I believe this. I think it's another way of putting accountability back on somebody else so that she doesn't have to. That's my feeling. More than willing to admit if I'm wrong on that.
Behind the scenes, and in relation to this, that just sucks.
Why are we looking up? Why aren't we looking at the people that are there to support her? Look here.
And I think, for me, when it...
Interesting point, Yummy. I think she doesn't want to choose a side because at the time she didn't know how the doc was going to go. But she did know what take they were doing because Escaping Paradise is framing Stefan as the villain. So any amount of thought of that, you should be able to see how it was going to be posed. Or are you talking about perhaps she didn't know how it was going to be received, so she wanted to bide her time and wait to pick a side after the fact. And in doing that, she's actually created a whole new side where she's just the villain in it. Harder to look directly at someone when you're like, well, to be fair, she's looking at a camera, right? It's not even eyes. The NDA is likely just not to talk about the doc specifically. Oh yeah, so like she can't say when it's going to come out. She can't say that it was filming and things like that. That would make sense, but not necessarily anything else, because what else is there? Yes, that, yeah. She doesn't want to burn the Stefan Bridge. Might want to go live there. She's too short. She's not his type. We've learned that. Roz was not invited there for a reason. And maybe, actually, potentially more than just that reason. Because I have a feeling that, actually, he all but said it. Stefan vets the women he invites in to make sure that they're women that are vulnerable enough that he can manipulate. And it's possible that he didn't feel like he was going to be able to manipulate Roz. It's possible that she just threw some red flags that he didn't want to deal with. Yes, I get that feeling too. I think she does wish he wanted her. I think so too. I think she's hurt that she was not invited. And can you imagine the stories that would have come out if she had been? Oh, yes, that's true. She is too old now. Yeah, she is. Actually, she may have been at the time too, to be fair. Yeah.
It got to the point where I agreed to talk to Stefan. I thought I made it very fucking clear where I stood, and it was very clear by the time I woke up and I got into Zio's live and I talked to Paola and I got an understanding of what was happening. He kind of took that conversation as like a green light to be able to speak for me, to be able to like say there's some kind of allyship there or something.
No, that's not what he did. I think he was trying to use you to quell Girl World. I think he's aware of the Girl World entity, and he might have been trying to manipulate that. I don't think he was. Don't know. Him not asking her to come hurt her ego those 6 years ago. Okay, so she would have been 28, possibly 29 at the time that she was talking to him. So that is too old, isn't it? Even then, she was too old. Too short, too old. Never mind what that makes me. Oh, no, wait. No, wait. I'm too short, too old, and too thin. Sorry. Yeah.
That never existed, and I was mortified. Because that clearly meant that either something I did or didn't do led to that. And like, I'm deeply upset at myself about that part of it. Because when I went back up, because I left Zio's live when Stefan came up, because we had our conversation and that was it. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to interact again, and I also wanted to take with seriousness, like the feedback I was given by Paola and others.
Vera was marked safe from Stefan. Stefan not marked safe from Vera's wrath. Oh, I love that porcelain. Too vintage. I love that. I'm gonna steal that. I am vintage. I'm not middle-aged. I'm vintage.
And make sure that I move forward and my actions like reflect that. But as soon as I left, he came up and he accused Paola of bullying.
Sorry to keep saying porcelain. Yeah, I'm not skinny either. But way, way, way too thin for Stefan's type. Yeah. You're too skinty and old. Oh, we're all too thin and too old. Ah, oh, sucks to be us. Wouldn't it just make our world if we could have a whole hunk of man like Stefan to dote over and swoon over and be an object for? Shame on all of us. We've missed out.
Me. And I was like, absolutely fucking not. That's some bullshit right there. And so I did bring myself back up and I cut him off because he was speaking for me too. I was like, don't fucking speak for me. She was not bullying me. She was holding me accountable, which she has every right to because she's directly involved in this. And we're not friends. We're not allies. I don't know where the fuck you got that narrative from.
Because you gave him time to say his piece. You gave him your platform, all of your viewers, all of Girl World, a chance to say that he's not a predator. That's why. That makes you look like an ally. You didn't push back once on him. In fact, Roz, I would go so far as to say that you're actually really bad at real-time conflict. I don't think her brain moves fast enough, which, by the way, is not necessarily shade because I also was like that for most of my life as well. Actually, it's this channel that's made me faster with the delivery. It's very exciting for me. I can't express. But she isn't good in that moment, and the fact that she didn't push back on him in any way, like not any way that makes her look like an ally. Vera, I'll smack you with a fan if you keep that up. Little bop. Did I upset people? I audibly scoffed. I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Oh dear. Yes, she wanted to give Stefan grace. And without the pushback on the other side of that, it looks like you're an ally. It looks like you're friends. Yes. This, I'm not going to say, but that's where it's heading. Suspected, I will say. I haven't watched the full episode of that one yet, but I heard suspected, yes. Oh, I'm a bit with you, Benita. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm not a fan. You can get farts to yes, Charlie is slowly getting there sometimes. Not that much, but trying to be nice. I adore Charlie. Stop it. This is a Charlie safe space, Yummy, even from you. I think she was hoping if she glazed him enough, she might get an invite. I really think that seems to be the case, right? That looks like, but he's not going to go for it. And she's got a boyfriend. Is she trying to hedge her bets? Maybe. Like, is Remily in the picture so long as she doesn't get a better offer? Oh, that poor guy. He's going to be slammed when they break up. He's in for a world of hurt. Let's not forget she called other SA victims liars and wanted receipts, but we have to accept her stories as fact. Also, it's really difficult, I think, in a lot of cases, unless it happened recently. Like, for example, I can't provide you any receipts about my, like, the stuff that I've gone through. There's nothing. There's no, like, documented history. Well, there is, like, legally, but, there's not like an online thing where I can show you, and I think that's the case for a lot of people, is it not? So like asking for receipts, demanding receipts, it's a bit unfair sometimes. Stefan has more money and Roz loves that. Yeah.
I guess it was just because I was too nice. But I
Oh, good point, Furball. Yeah, remember Paradise is a content house. Yes, Roz was after the fame and money more than the man. And also, that house provides an excuse to just consume whatever you want, whenever you want. It's encouraged, it's considered beautiful, and yeah, it's probably her ideal setting for a lot of reasons.
was just trying to be respectful. So, if you're thoroughly confused by this conversation, I do apologize. There's a lot that's going on outside of my platform that would be disingenuous of me not to address. So yeah, the gave him grace comment. Let's talk about that. I haven't been looking at the chat very much.
Yeah, why would you look at your supporters? Of course, Roz. Yeah.
I feel like you didn't give him permission to talk for you from what you said in that combo, in my opinion. That's how I felt. But clearly, you give an inch, they take a mile. Very that, right? The give him grace comment was specifically about everyone's involvement who lost Shay. My entire point there was that everyone who was close to Shay lost someone they felt close to.
For everyone who's watched all 3 episodes, was Shay in it, or did they edit her out? For anyone who's not in the know, Shay is somebody who was in the house and unfortunately passed. recently, very, very recently. Darcy, thank you so much for being a clucker for 1 month. Appreciate you, Vera. I appreciate you, Darcy. Yeah. Was so I don't, well, Shay definitely wasn't in the first episode. She was briefly in it, and they put a memorial page up. It wasn't a lot. Okay. Because I know they talked about the other lady. That's coming up. It's gonna get dark, but yeah, okay, she was. Okay, cool. Have that to look forward to.
That was all I meant. That's it. I promise you that's all I meant. Yeah, that's all I meant. I just don't think we should be giving abusers grace. I get the instinct, like as a woman, we are told to always be kind to men for safety, but we need to break that. I think you have a valid point. My point was specifically about grief, not giving him grace about the accusations or anything else. I was specifically talking about grief.
That's not at all how it was communicated in that live.
And I will sincerely apologize for the fact that my word choice led to that not being communicated in the way that I intended it to. Because that is what I meant. And I touched on it in the live, and I don't want to get too much into it now because I want the doc to come out first. But I learned a lot from the cast situation. And that is all I was trying to say, is that everyone lost someone, and everyone who's lost someone deserves space for that grief. That was my only point.
Yeah, I think you were right. I think she was biding her time to see what the response was going to be, see who the majority of people felt like, which side they fell on. The mistake that she made, if she was going to take that tactic, which firstly, by the way, that tactic is disingenuous. It really is, because it's not her genuine opinion. She just wants to be on the correct side, right? And if she had have been doing that tact, what she should have done was stayed out of it completely until she saw what side was, everyone was going to fall on. I personally feel like if she had any insight at all, it was obvious which side it was going to fall on, but, it's Roz, I suppose. She's trying to gas up them lights about what happened in that live. She tries to rewrite history quite a bit. He doesn't need grace or anything. He doesn't. Layla, I won't put that up on the screen. I know it's on the chat, but yes, I agree with what you just said.
And I made a mistake in my past where I didn't leave room for that space, that space for that grief. And I didn't want to make that mistake again. I promise you, that's all I meant.
Jag girl, is she ever going to shut the clock up? Are you new here? Hello, welcome. No, probably not. No.
Like, that's all I meant. For every person that's immediately involved in this situation, whether, like, not even just, like, me being doxxed, but the people that were close to Shay, the people that were close to Cass, the people that were directly involved in the Paradise House, like, this is their real fucking life, and I never meant to disrespect that.
This is very accountability adjacent. She's almost there. If she just delivered these lines on their own and then said, I've learned a lot, I'm going to curb my behavior, and you will be able to see that I've curbed my behavior in future, that would be accountability. She's almost, this is the closest I've ever seen her get to it. Oh, you better believe it. The Rain and Petals arc is coming. You better believe it. But she also comes across as not liking Stefan specifically for the feederism is okay to say, by the way, and not the allegations against him. Yeah, so you're saying it's specifically the main topic that she doesn't like him for, but she's kind of okay with everything else? Yeah. What's she gonna say now? ID made Stefan out to be the creeper that he is. Oh, did they ever? My goodness.
I never did. So I just don't understand why you needed to talk to him at all. Why did you think they need your opinion? Did they ask for it? When you say they, who are you referring to, Karma? What I was getting to earlier was when that conversation with Stefan, I wanted to talk about like the back and forth. That's what I was saying earlier. Like I stayed on too long and I carried on more conversation than was necessary beyond what I should have sat and asked myself in the moment prior to going up, like, why would I want to do this? Because I was asked that during the live, and I was like, that's a really good question, and I realized I hadn't thought that part through, you know? And, like, I fucked up there. You gave him attention when you told us you would never do that. That's a fair point.
No, she definitely didn't think those things through at all. She is a bad liar, I agree. Sitting there and considering something, I don't know about all of you, but with decisions like that, I really try to avoid making them in the moment, because sometimes, you know, especially emotionally charged things, sometimes it just is what it is. I've done this sometimes responding to comments as well, where I've wanted to knee jerk and react in a certain way, but then I've slept on it and I decide if I still feel the same way in the morning, I'll address it. If I don't, I don't. More often than not, I don't, you know, with a little bit of time. And in this situation, really what she needed to do was see that they were willing to talk to her and go, okay, I'm going to withdraw from this conversation. Know that they are open to a conversation. I'm just going to sleep on it. I'm going to think on it. I'm going to think what I could possibly gain from this, what I want to say to them, and all of that kind of thing. But because Roz is so at the behest, just like Amber, of whatever she's feeling in the moment, she probably felt excited that she was being acknowledged or noticed coming in, right? Because it's a little bit celebrity adjacent. And I think that's what she was feeling. She was excited to be noticed.
I was at my wit's end, and I felt at the time, I felt like, because up until that point, I had been trying to...
We're just watching the cogs turning for her to try and work out what she wants her story to be. Because, you know, the reality is she hasn't thought this live through either.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to say.
I love that crazy cat lady. I agree. Best lesson I've learned as a mature adult, sleep on it. Never fails. And by the way, if you ever need a line to be able to get out of the conversation that you feel like you need to make the decision in, this is the line you need. Leave it with me. That is power with everything that crazy cat lady just said. Leave it with me. Sleep on it. Yes. It's a winning combo.
This.
Words are hard. Come on, Roz.
I felt like all these other conversations were happening, and these different aspects and experiences were being handled on different platforms that I didn't want to associate myself with. But I felt like there was an opportunity for some of the insanity to die down if we could just have a respectful conversation.
You want to have a respectful conversation with a man who is not your perpetrator, who is a perpetrator of several other women, and you just so desperately want to insert yourself into that situation. Like, are you hearing what you're saying? Do you hear yourself? Stefan is nothing to you. Nothing at all. But you're making him someone. You're pissed that he rejected you. Hello, Fnarg. Hello, Kay. Nice catching alive. Welcome in. Probably bees. Hello. This is good. Rosie translation. I felt like all these conversations were happening without me. You're right.
That's what I was thinking at the time. And that's why when it all like kind of came to a head and then Xiomara's live happened, I was like, I just think at this point the best thing I can do is just take a step back.
Right, yeah. It's genuinely sad and sort of embarrassing for her only because she is her full grown age and lacking this much self-awareness and ability to take accountability. And yeah, that's the arrested development. I've said it before. I will say it again, although I'm very ashamed of my past, parts of my past. Had I have gotten onto the internet 20 years earlier, I would have been a lol cow. I would have just been one of them. Like, without a doubt. I also used to think this way, act this way. Maybe not, I don't want to take too much accountability for that because I never did anything inappropriate with minors and things like that. Not on that level and not the animal stuff, but like the silliness that is Girl World for sure. But it's what... Vera, no! But it's what gives me the authority to be able to sit up here and say, this is what they're doing wrong and this is what they need to do it. Because I've done it. I've fixed it. I fixed myself. I did a 180. I've learned so much. I've made so many mistakes. Here I am sharing it with everybody. It takes guts to admit that. It's uncomfortable. I find it a lot more comfortable to speak about my childhood trauma. I think because I didn't have a fault to play in that, but the adult that I was raised into, the adult that I became for a long time, I really didn't see reality as it was. I didn't. And it is probably a product of my upbringing and the web of lies that I grew up in with a coercive, controlling parent and things like that. But you know, there does come a point when you're an adult that you have to stand up and go, this life is not serving me. The way that I'm moving through this world is not serving me. It doesn't work. So I'm going to take the steps to change it and basically learn how to adult. And that's where the reparenting thing comes in. That's what Roz needs to do. Does Roz have the ability to be able to do that? I don't know. I hope so. I hope everybody does. I don't know.
Do you think it's easier to see now that you're receiving criticism? Do you think it's easier to see now? See now what exactly? So the reason I felt like doing it publicly made more sense is because, like, if people found out I was talking to him privately, that could easily get twisted or manipulated. And, like, imagine if we had had a conversation like that privately and he was going around telling people XYZ, and there was no one to see the conversation.
If that happened, Roz, what that makes it is a he said, she said. So if things cannot be proven either way, then it becomes a non-issue. People are going to think what they're going to think. It doesn't matter because you know what actually happened. What you did was actually get on his platform and share your platform with him, and you made it public, which in your mind makes it better, but in actual fact, it just looked like you were giving a predator excuses. And she kind of took accountability earlier. Now she's ruining it. I knew she would ruin it. You shared with all of us that you wanted to be a Playboy bunny. Yeah, I know. Look, sometimes we're silly when we're young. Sometimes. You don't see the world for what it is yet. You make decisions that you think are adults, and, you know, it is what it is. What I will say regarding the Arrested Development, all of the women that I cover are now behind my timeline for improvement. They're older than what I was when I started turning things around. And I don't think that the timeline matters so much as the action, but I almost wonder, is it worse as you get older? Like, it affects everything. It affects your work, it affects your relationships, it affects your family, it affects how you feel about yourself. It's so insidious, and it bleeds into everything. And is it worse that they're older? Because by Roz's age, I was almost at the form that I am now, right? There's still, I mean, there's always been continuous development. I think we should always have development, but at her age, I was already well on this path, if that makes sense. The girls must feel like everything is a fight or a failure. I think we've all weighed in to give them proper advice, but they chose not to take it. Yeah. Because they label us all haters, and so that means everything we say is hate. And that's why the language that we use is so important. Oh, Cramlings, you said you wanted to strip through uni to not have student loans from the age of 14. You probably were not able to conceptualize what that meant properly. If I hadn't gotten chronic fatigue and had any time management skills, I think you would have. Oh, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if you're getting into it for the right reasons, but it's not for everybody. Yeah, nothing wrong with stripping your way through college, but you do need to make sure that you're going into it with open eyes and not for the wrong reasons. People don't expect that out of a 34-year-old or whatever she is. Yeah, she's 34. It's getting on. I don't know. I would love to see. I don't think you could ever quantify it in a study, but I would love to know, like, does it get less likely that you're going to change the older you get? I think better late than never, though. I really do.
I wouldn't trust him with a private conversation, I guess.
You shouldn't trust him with a public one either.
Rosie, are you okay? Maybe you need a mental health break. You seem very stressed. Yeah, I took a bit of a mental health break the past couple days. And I want to address.
I agree. I think she should get off the internet and get some help.
Very quickly, and then I want to move on because I think I have most of these people name blocked. Anyway, the Amber Lynn, Emily of it all.
Is that her code for feederism? Like, grow up. Put it where it belongs, not with Amber. Nog, I love that. Well, I used to be rude and abrasive because I didn't understand other people or how to regulate myself while we're spilling. I love that. Let's just air out all of the things that we're not proud of as young people. And it's why I think we shouldn't judge people for necessarily for things that have been done in the past, so long as the current behavior is remedied. So, like, for example, the deep dives that I'm doing on Rachel, I'm bringing criticism to her 18-year-old self. I am. That does sound unfair until you start putting into context that she's still the same person. She hasn't grown. She hasn't changed. In some ways, she's gotten worse. So the judgment is still appropriate at the moment. Maybe the sunk cost fallacy keeps people from changing when they're older. It's like going full tilt in poker, right? It's like, oh, well, I've already bet this much, so I may as well keep betting even though you think you're going to lose. And it's like, well, no, the choice is there. You can stop betting at any time. You're allowed to.
Xiomara had like a 5-hour long crazy live, and I was more involved in the beginning of it. And at some point when I was up there, she invited in Emily, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. I have nothing nice or respectful to say in her presence, and I want absolutely fucking nothing to do with Emily and Amber, especially after, forgot when it was, like a couple weeks ago, I fell down the rabbit hole of the whole Discord situation and how she handled it, and I want no part in it at all, and I want nothing to do with that. And I think the way Amber successfully bulldozed herself into that to make it all about her was indicative of exactly who she is. And I was pretty pissed how she just completely cut off Ashley Avocado and the conversation that they were having that was very important. And it never recovered after that point. And yeah, I want nothing to do with that. And that is why I removed myself. That's why I removed myself from every time Girl World tried to insert themselves into the conversation that they weren't.
She loves to try and convince herself that she's actually taken action. I've been quiet for a week, you have not. I haven't been feeding the trolls, you have. I haven't been watching Keeping Up with Girl World, you have. It was like, she says these things that are not at all true, that I can't quite tell. Is she out and out just trying to lie to her supporters, which is possible? Or is she actually trying to lie to herself to convince herself that this is true? Or both? Why not have both?
Invited to. So, yeah. That's really all I gotta say. I have nothing to say to them, and I remember briefly, like, when she was just spouting bullshit, I was correcting that in the chat, but in terms of, like, a conversation like that, like, I'm good. So, yeah, I that's really all I gotta say about that. I don't want to detract too far beyond that. So, I don't want this to devolve into, like, because the one thing for me that is very important is I do not want to get into, like, tit for tat or, like.
And this person has been pretty much saying this through the whole stream. I'm so confused right now. Knows nothing about this whole story. Can you imagine? Just, like, walking into the middle of this. Who is Z Omara? Oh, I'm not criticizing people for not knowing. It's just, it's funny because when you contrast it with how she's handling this, and it's like she's just assuming everybody knows. It's just such a funny juxtaposition going on.
Beef with any of the women or anything like that, and I certainly don't want decisions that I'm making to cause more harms or problems. I really don't.
Yeah, I think this is part of it, Fnag. I wonder if the real reason these girls never change is they happen to find themselves in situations where their bad behaviors are rewarded by the algorithm and AdSense. I absolutely think that YouTube and other platforms are a form of enabler for all of them. Absolutely. But for that, they would be required to change, right? Because you can't go into like a normal job and carry on the way these women carry on. As speaking from experience as a team leader in people management who have had these women as employees, it just doesn't go well. They either continue on their victimhood path and lose jobs, or they actually acknowledge that they need to fix their act up, right? And YouTube, they don't have to fix anything. They can just keep going and they keep getting paid, and yeah, it's a cycle. Oh, Bex, absolutely. You tried to watch Paradise. You had to stop after 10 minutes. It is a heavy watch. It really is. It's not for everyone, and I really encourage anyone to dip if you need to, because it's a lot.
I don't want that. So if my actions are having that impact, then like I have to adjust myself.
Sort of accountability? Sort of. We're almost there, Roz. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Don't ruin it. Don't have silence in your lives. It's weird. Say something. Roz. Roz. Oh my god. I'm stressed. Do you know how bad I feel when I've like taken a couple of seconds to read the chat and I'm aware that I've been quiet? I feel I'm so self-conscious about that, because sometimes my brain just focuses on reading and then I realize my mouth isn't moving, but like she causes me anxiety the way she runs her streams.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I didn't want any part of that. I didn't want any part of the sensationalism. Aku, I started to respect you for staying away from panels before the documentary. You were the one to do that, but seeing you there just made you like everyone else. You're human, but it's disappointing. I think that's really valid. Honestly, Aku, I think that's really valid.
Thank you, Kay. You're good. You speak effortlessly. I don't know about that, but I try. Live streaming is its own skill set, and it's something you get better at over time. Do we remember, like a couple of weeks ago, I covered, bear with me, it was that, like, it was a Texas vlog, right? It was, yeah, this one, this vlog here, the recapping our favorites. She put a towel over herself, which you can see there, and she said, I don't like to have my tits on display. Like, she doesn't like to expose herself. Do we all remember this? And then this. Just saying, just pointing that out.
When I think back on last week and I think back on just the chaos and like I guess in a way it's like I felt like everyone else was doing it and my voice wasn't being heard, and like I was just getting fucking bulldozed in a lot of ways, and I for some reason felt like that part of it would help, and I think I was wrong. And I think it was short-sighted, and I think it was impulsive.
I wish she would just stop speaking there. I mean, clearly this is like she's got 3 more hours. I think she does eventually change topic. Oh, she starts eating. Oh, that's right. She gets high in this video. We're not going to watch all of it, but she needs to just leave it there. That sounds good, but she's going to keep talking and she'll turn herself back around into the victim again and ruin it all.
And I'm confused on where I fully land on it at this point, because I feel like there was a couple good things that came out of that conversation, but I don't feel like they outweigh the net negative, I
Ruining it.
guess.
I don't know if you can see this comment. I'll read it. What's Rosie's connection to the documentary? Was she in the house? No. What I'm thinking might be a sir. Sorry if I'm wrong.
Hey Jacob, I've stated this multiple times. I wasn't in the house. I was a part of the documentary, and you'll find out more when it comes out. I've talked a bit about it here and there, but
Or like, what, 87 seconds of it? Is that what it was? 89 seconds, something like that.
there's a reason I'm involved, and you'll know more. It's actually this Wednesday. It's like 3 days away. Ultimately, I think I really did get like caught up. The documentary is called Big Girls Wanted Escaping Paradise.
I don't know why they ask, because she's advertising it everywhere. It's literally at the top of her description.
I talked about this briefly, but I think I found him on TikTok, yeah.
She really needs time to think up these lies. You know, you don't have to try to think of the truth. It tends to just come out. That was in response to, did the guy ever invite you to go to that place? So this is not true. I don't think it was on TikTok. I think it was on Instagram, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was Instagram. And so that's making... No, it had to be, because TikTok was not a thing back then. So no, this isn't right. This is not right. Because though... why do I bother? Yeah, right? I would feel so foolish if I were her. I would too. I would be horribly embarrassed. I don't know, but I feel like platforming a predator like that, I don't know what it would take for me to leave the internet, but depending on the situation, that might be up there, right? Just admit defeat, Rosie. You got used for info. And it doesn't change. Awesome. Jeez.
And we got connected somehow on Discord. I don't know who added and who. I really.
You showed the receipts though, Nikki. I'm side questing Nikki. Nikki's just my resource for all of the receipts. She did I'll let it play, I'll find it, and then I will make my point.
Fucking don't. He messaged me first. We had one conversation, and then I never followed through with anything regarding that because after I learned more, I was just not interested, and then everything kind of spiraled thereafter. Like I think the following year. So.
Found.
Don't tell you the price that you pay.
They don't tell you the price you pay.
Oh, jeez.
Tell me why I went to go check the comments.
Sorry, this is being very weird. Don't tell you the
price that you pay.
Bro, I can't sleep because I looked up, and it was me ever.
No, this isn't it. It jumped. I'll keep playing.
Because I was in that Discord server for a while,
you the price,
but I wasn't like crazy active or anything. Like in terms of being a participant, but that was way back in like 2020, 2021. So.
This is really annoying because it's jumping every time I move the screen. Hang on, it's this one. Yes, okay, it's working. So this is where Stefan said that he doesn't know Roz, right? But then, is this not Insta? So she contacted him in 2020, 6 years ago. He contacted her 6 years ago. And she's like, I want to go to the poly party. And yeah, so this was not on TikTok. These, by the way, this is her Instagram stories. She put these receipts up. This is not, like, sorry? And then she showed all of these receipts because she got butthurt that he said he didn't flirt with her. And it was just these tiny little messages. So they were her stories. She put those receipts up. Never mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not above criticism in this situation. I'm not. That's why I took a beat.
If she could continue that kind of vibe, that kind of thought process, it would go far over time. But she needs to be consistent with it. The problem is with the girls, they will do something temporarily and still be getting the backlash, so then they think it's not working and they stop and they go back to their nonsense. Yeah, she wanted revenge on Stefan for not inviting her to that house. Yep. They had like two interactions, very, very, very brief interactions. So brief that I'm not going to call him a liar for saying that he hasn't talked to her, because I could understand that would be forgotten, right? And especially since she changes her username over and over, so he may not have even known her as Quirky Love Rose. Yeah, yes, the girls always get so close to getting it, and they just don't commit. They never commit.
To collect myself. This was a misstep, hoping you stay away from engaging in that content. I agree, Jordan. I agree. But yeah. Will you consider in the future to go on the lives, even though it will give others content against you? I mean, specifically for Stefan, absolutely not.
Smart. Do we think she'll do it?
I would say probably not, but I don't want to put anything definitive there in case I do end up joining a live panel for a certain reason that I feel is a good idea. But again, that's something I'm going to have to take into heavy consideration because I don't want to.
She gained lolcow points. We need a scorecard. Is it like every time they do lolcow behavior, they gain points, but then every time they actually do something human and adult, mature adult, not adult spicy, then they get points deducted, and it's like you want to stay as low a score as you possibly can. This is an interesting game. I'm a little behind in the lore. Do we think Stefan had a specific reason to not invite Rose? I think it's multiple reasons. I think one, she's genuinely not his type. He's described his type as very tall, and also very young, so she would have been too old. Also, I think he vets his women that he invites in to make sure that they're vulnerable enough to manipulate, and I think he may have seen too much drama here. Would be my best guess.
I don't want to make a misstep like that again. I don't want to take someone at face value and say things and not realize that, like, the severity of that.
But see, here's the thing. I don't think, for the most part, where sitting here saying you can't make mistakes. It's like, oh, you misjudged Stefan, so now we're going to condemn you forever. I think most people are probably not taking that stance. Maybe some people, but I'm personally not saying that she can't make mistakes. The problem with the girls is that when they do make mistakes, they handle it so poorly and then continue to make said mistakes, which is why Rachel's one of them, right? I'm not condemning her for making that particular mistake. It's how it's been handled afterwards. And especially the fact that it hadn't been handled before the doc dropped, and now the doc has dropped and we all know everything. It makes it so much worse. The handling is bad, but that is why they are what they are, isn't it? It's because of that handling. The ridiculous people living ridiculous lives, posting it online for some reason and never learning.
I'd rather you rage on Instagram and hear on YouTube about him than give him attention in a square on TikTok. It's understandable. Well, thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate that. But the thing is like...
Are you about to defend your actions? Are you about to undo everything you just did?
I thought you were blocked. I'm not doing this.
What? Okay, I'm assuming we can't see that message. I don't know what she was referring to, but somebody just royally ticked her off. She's just, never mind, we're just gonna be silent while we're blocking people. Like, jeez. Hey, Pat. Yeah, no, just say, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, I'm not going to speak about it anymore until after the documentary so the victims of Paradise can tell their story. I sincerely apologize, and then stick to that. Fantastic, Bella. Fantastic. Like, it's as simple as that. But she continues to talk, right? And it undoes it. It reminds me of, like, you know, making a braid in your hair, but not putting a hair tie on the end. It just comes, it unravels. Go to bed, Rosie. Agreed. Yes, she already had a reputation for screwing people over by 2020, and she also had a history by that point of inappropriate conduct with minors, I believe. Yeah, but the thing is, she's been jumping usernames, so people haven't tracked it. Well, most people, but some people have. Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. So what we're not about to do is take the situation and turn it into something else. No.
But why not? You are. Oh. That was Sky? They super chatted and said you didn't give Jeff's victims grace. Sky. The sass.
Appreciate getting on live to address everything and apologize. That's not easy, and I think a lot of people would have pre-recorded a video addressing everything. Thank you, Rosie. Yeah, not a problem, Jordan. I think that's why I said, like, I think it's just...
Yes, she has a history with minors, quite an extensive one. I will be doing videos on all of this in the coming months.
Important, first of all, that I'm not aware of any receipt video about me. With that, I don't watch Apathetic Facts.
So the Apathetic Facts video that she's talking about, I believe Apathetic Facts showed that she's been contacting them. She's been contacting a lot of reaction channels, like, over the years.
I know Apathetic Facts made a video about Zio. I saw Zio watch that, but I don't know about anything else. I think the best course of action is to let the women impacted by the house share their stories while you focus on the next chapter of your life. Yeah. I don't want to speak for anyone. So you're not going to address the Rita of it all?
No, you don't want to speak for anyone. You just want to take all of their attention for yourself. That is one hell of a freeze. I'm sorry.
I had no idea, like I said when I spoke to Paola, I had no idea that Rita had any accusations. None. I was blown away. Like I said in the first live, my only knowledge of her was that she was very well respected in communities that I used to be a part in. She and I had tons of mutual friends. Everyone that I knew of her, that knew her, only had good things to say about her. I was floored to learn that. I'm upset, and that's kind of that's the part where, like, I was like,
that's the truth. Yes, Pat, Rita told you what she is, Rosie. You just didn't care. That is true. She sat on that panel and just accepted everything Rita said. She agreed with her, while Rita was saying that she defends and supports Stefan and has known him for years and will continue to support him.
okay, I really just gotta shut up. Like, clearly,
good idea.
I've got some knowledge gaps here. Clearly,
shut up.
I just accidentally put myself in this really shitty situation.
You're still talking.
When
Bros.
I just thought she was sticking up for me. I did not have that information.
On topics as important as this, it's your job to have information before you start speaking. Or be really clear about things that you don't know in the moment.
I didn't know. And I'm mortified. I could respect that you're able to acknowledge when you need to take a step back. Yeah, like at that point, that's when I was like, oh, I don't know what the fuck else to do. Like, I just need to take a step back and shut up.
So has there been anything else, like, recently? Because it does seem like she's been a little, like, AWOL. What am I trying to do here? She put up the Texas vlog. We'll watch that next week. Unless something obscene happens in the meantime. But, like, oh. Come hang out tomorrow, 6 p.m. EST for a members only live. Watching Bruce Almighty with my boyfriend tonight for a mini date night. Okay, so she's not addressing anything. Quick update about the last Texas vlog. So, has she said anything? Yeah, she probably would have done it on Instagram stories. That's why I had Nikki. I was just seeing if there's anything new. Because this was for 9th and 10th, but that wouldn't have cut. I'm looking for something in, like, the last 2 days. Yeah. Nikki hasn't recorded anything. She just said she's mortified. I don't feel that feeling from her. She isn't coming across as embarrassed or apologetic enough. No. It's coming off that she is saying what she feels she needs to say. Stuff K said on Twitter had something as a response. Do we have links? She might be mortified that she got caught, that's all. And maybe hedged her bet incorrectly. Girl, please, got it? this video here, Cokie Love Rosie not happy with Paradise? Yeah, that one? Or does she have shorts? She's very performative. She is. Getting links? Yes. She's been a long count for over 10 years. She's learned what to say to keep people off her back. That's all this was, I promise. I agree with you, Pat. I do. I think it was incredibly self-serving and not at all because of the women who are victims. So yeah, do we want to like really quickly watch? Is it that video that you're talking about? This one here? Let's see. Oh, are you kidding? It's age restricted. I don't want to go through that process on a live. Okay. We can watch a girl, please. Please, please, please. Whoops. Sorry about that. Please, please, please give Girl Please some love and give her a watch as well. We did a collab a while back, and yeah, she's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So definitely we can watch this, but can we be shouting her out if that's okay, mods? That would be good. I do need to finish shortly, so I will just speed this up just a little bit. I don't normally like to do that, but yeah, I will need to. Look at the Australian.
Foodie Beauty's medical emergency stream was purely to try and upstage Cokie Love Rosie's TV debut, but no one, and I mean no one, was ready for Q&R's part in this documentary.
Vibe change.
They don't tell you the price you pay. What's up, people? Wagwan. Welcome back to another video. So Chantal went live for an hour and 20 minutes, trying to turn a skin infection into content.
I get to the ER at 2:30 because I slept in, which I'm sure most people knew that would happen. And the doctor came to see me, of course.
Starting at 4:20? Oh, because she goes through what's been happening. Okay, cool.
Well, I just finished watching a docuseries with my boyfriend. I have a lot of thoughts.
Just because we've skipped, I just want to put it back. I really prefer to listen to things in real time. Otherwise, I find it a little overstimulating.
Just about the documentary, the stories that were shared. It's kind of crazy seeing, like, Stefan directly say something on camera for the documentary that 100% contradicts something he said to my face last week. That was crazy. I first just want to say,
And my man, thank you to my man.
See what I mean? She's hilarious. I adore her.
Oh my god, sorry. I thought that was what she was gonna go for. The way she said, oh, first award, I thought it was some kind of award speech she was gonna make.
like, I don't want to, like, go too in-depth about anything because I want you guys to watch it. I think everyone should watch it and form their own opinions. I wasn't super surprised by how much I was in the documentary because of what I was.
Rosie is such a liar, you can see the disappointment on her face. Rosie is coming to terms right now with the fact that, oh, she overplayed her part and now
I think Roz was genuinely hoping that this would be her platform that launches her into fame. And I think we all knew that it probably wasn't going to be, but I can just see that, like, she's built this up in her head, and it's just like 89 seconds. It's tiny. Her part is tiny, as it should be.
she has spy on her face. Not like she wouldn't like that anyways. And
I guess I had hoped they would provide a little more context to some things that just ended up not going with the flow of the story.
Translated to, I wish they had have given me more airtime because I said a lot of stuff in my interview and they didn't show it.
When the blood clot this. Since when Rosie became some kind of production manager? Rosie, the people have hype you up and call a content creator and is far from that. Please, we are asking to piss me off.
I'm gonna hold off because there's like a lot of stuff I want to say, but I really appreciate that the stories of these victims were heard. And, you know, as someone who was watching all this stuff go down.
The victims, Rosie, the victims.
That should have been her message the whole time. Not after she's seen the documentary and realized that she only got a teeny tiny little space. And only in one of the episodes. They didn't even keep her consistent like one of the other experts they had. It was just the one episode.
That is where
and a little in the intro.
Should have stopped. Shh. I say shh. Don't always have to be about you.
Someone who was watching all this stuff go down in 2021 and onward. It's just, I'm just glad that this entire story is being talked about on a mainstream front. I hope all of you watch the documentary. I think it was very well made. I do have critiques.
Like what?
Especially on how certain things were handled. Again, nothing has to do with me, right? But like everything to do with just like with like the people who have passed and everything.
Yeah, she's got the Ativan glaze. I am really concerned that she said that she won't go to the doctor, yet she's taking a substance that is that severe. Her Instagrams are like a head sitting on her boobs. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Hello, non-binary finery. Is she trying to say she watched it happen in 2021 but doesn't get it now? I sometimes find, legitimately, when she talks, sometimes I find it really difficult to track the point that she's trying to make. I am really not clear on what she's saying here. If anybody wants to do a Roz translation, I would be very open to it, because this is like, it's almost like sometimes listening to a different language where you know that there's communication happening, and you can interpret that there's different sounds happening, but not what's being said. That's how it feels to me sometimes.
I have some thoughts about that, but I want to hold off, and I also think like everyone else involved should have their time to share their thoughts and react and everything.
Oh, not Rosie.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. She says that Ativan isn't addictive for her. Benzos are addictive for literally every human. every human brain. And she's a raging cloaca without it, and not herself. And yes, that's not even her prescription. Of course not, because she'd have to go to the doctor to get a prescription. Benzos are addictive. There's just the reality of it. There's a chemical setup that happens in our brains. That's absurd. That is also a dangerous message to be putting. Do you know that there's a medical misinformation section in TOS of YouTube? Just saying. She is 100% breaking TOS in many ways, and she thinks it's fine because nothing's happened. She's learned nothing.
Jean holding space for the victims right after centering herself in the people. She's giving them the permission to share their thoughts right after centering herself. I still don't see how Rosie's not connecting the dots and noticing why this is a problem.
This has just been an insane couple of weeks. And I was so anxious, and I was so just overwhelmed by the unknown. Now I'm just sitting here kind of like, why was I freaking out so much? I don't even know.
I believe what we are seeing here is actually a grieving process of what she hoped was going to happen versus what did happen. I think we're seeing stages of grief happen. I do.
No. There's so much I want to talk about and say because, like, yeah, but
Because why? Because you thought they'd come out in the documentary? Finish that sentence, Roz.
I hope you guys still watch it. It's a really important story that needs to be heard.
The way how Rosie stays thinking about herself and herself only. She doesn't even recognize that she's saying she's holding space for the victims, for them to give their reactions first. She's still here, wanting to give her 2 cents about her 2-minute cameo in a 3-hour documentary. But anyways, people, that is it for this.
So well said. I love Girl Please. Please do send her some love. I would not send you to channels that are dodgy or boring in any way. If I'm mentioning them, it's because I vetted them myself. And yeah, absolutely amazing if you haven't seen her stuff. And her accent is so fun. But yeah, I think it's clear there were probably all manner of fantasies dancing around in Roz's head of what would happen, and then she'd get contacted by larger media sources and she'd be launched into her moment of fame just like Tess Holliday. And no, 89 seconds of exposure, minimized heavily and not at all showcased compared to the other women who were part of this story. Yeah. So anyway, as I said, tonight, although for some of you it might be tomorrow morning, tonight I will be doing a live stream on my Discord and Patreon for Cluckers on episode 2, and then at the moment I'm aiming to do the 3rd episode this time where the stream was tomorrow, whatever time that is for you. I'll set up events in the Discord so you can see them, and I'll schedule them in Patreon so you can see them as well. And I know I feel so bad having them behind a paywall. It has to be this way. There's no way YouTube is going to allow an HBO documentary on it. It can't happen. But like I say, it's only $3 and that will get you access to like all 3 episodes, as well as like all the members only content that I have on Patreon already. So if you want to consider getting it, it's a heavy watch, but it's an important watch, I think. So I'll leave that with you. If you can and you want to, I'll see you over there. But for now, that is all the clocks I have left to give. Stay golden, my little nuggets, and I'll catch you next time.